All right, guys, welcome to the Get Bit Podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. I'm your host, the most Will Buchanan, aka Black Spartan, and yes, there is a baby on my arm, and of course, the man to my left, your right, depending on how your screen is flipped. And I just read what you said. What do you have today, sir?
In full command of both nostrils this time, Joe Tonello.
Find me in the Street
I've had a
Fighter.
sinus infection most of this week. This is the first day I've been able to breathe through both nostrils.
And together we are the Get Bit Podcast. Before we get started, guys, much like the WWE of old, choice language does fly. And especially tonight, there may be things that might be shown that might be too intense for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised, aside from that welcome. So how do we actually start this off? Well, because I want to make sure I heavily said a disclaimer, we actually got some news from Ed Boon and NetherRealm Studios, and it came in the form of a trailer.
It is time. Time to wake up to a new reality. To a blank canvas that I have painted in with warmth and peace. In my new era, the choice is yours. Whether to live in quiet serenity or bloody strife. To dwell in joyous prosperity or bitter rivalry. You can face each other as sworn enemies or united as brothers. But a storm is brewing, and soon you will discover that even in this new era, one constant remains. There is always something worth fighting for. You have chosen to defy peace. Then you have chosen war with a god.
And like I said, holy crap. As you can see, guys, that was Ed Boon's announcement that we will be seeing Mortal Kombat rebooted as Mortal Kombat 1. And of course, that is coming out September 19th. And as you can see right there, if you pre-order, you can get Shang Tsung and beta access, as long as you pre-order before May 19th. So, me and Joe were talking about this just because the number one, this is following the events of Mortal Kombat Aftermath. Of course, if for all those that never played it, and spoilers if you haven't, at the end of Aftermath, Liu Kang does become the Earthrealm protector, Fire God Liu Kang. Of course, Raiden becomes mortal, and Liu Kang, because of the way that the universe was shattered, he recreated it. So this is a soft reboot, you will, of the MK universe. That's why we're seeing a lot of former familiar faces, and the fact that the tournament begins again. Honestly, I'm kind of excited to see what they're saying, because according to Ed Boon, there's going to be different fight modes. There's going to be some new things they're coming out with, especially on the skin side. Before we get to the skins, Joe, what did you think about the trailer? So what do you think about the MK1 trailer?
Well, my running theory, and I've talked about this before with some of our friends, is this is the very first Mortal Kombat tournament, not the first one, like as in Mortal Kombat won the game, but in this
Mhm.
new universe, this is the first Mortal Kombat tournament against Outworld, which is why Shang Tsung looks like he's in his 20s.
Right.
Raiden is not yet a god, point of
Mhm.
godhood, and I believe the Kung Lao is the original Great Kung Lao. Our
Yeah.
Scorpion and Sub-Zero can both be part of the Lin Kuei or the Shirai Ryu before they splinter off into two separate groups. And these are the
Mhm.
first inheritors of the names. Both Katana and Melina look much younger than they usually do, although it's very weird that Melina would exist in this universe without Shao Kahn already being there.
Pretty much.
And the Sorcerer of Shang Tsung to begin with, even though we clearly see that Outworld is also being invaded, or no, Adenia is being invaded by
Being
Outworld at the
invaded.
same time,
Right.
unless that's later in the story mode,
Well,
or that happens first in the story mode, and then they try to come to Earth Realm.
Well, it's the way I think it's the way the trailer's cut. But either way, it's going to be interesting as far as what they're going with the story. Again, this is I guess you can call it the Fire God Liu Kang Mortal Kombat universe, and not the one we're accustomed to. But other news that actually did come out, and this is why I always there and say, if you want to find out stuff, look at overseas stuff, because sometimes overseas will tell you something about a game or a movie or a television show really fascinating
Whether
by
they
us.
like it or not.
Yeah, pretty much. And the reason why I say that, and I gotta give props to Joe for finding this, because this right here, through Amazon Italy, had revealed that Omni Man is going to be one of the playable characters in MK1. Before, actually, yesterday, the day before yesterday, it was rumored. It is still yet to be rumored. It's still a rumor. It hasn't been confirmed yet that Homelander from the Boys may also be a playable character in MK1. Now, keep in mind that is heavily rumored for Homelander, but because of Amazon Italy already getting game sales out, they've already sat there and said, the cat's out the bag, that Omni Man will be will be a playable character in Mortal Kombat, possibly as a part of a player pack as they've done in previous years. But Joe, any other speculation as far as who else they may bring?
Well, I mean, if the theme is evil Superman,
Mm-hmm.
then most definitely we'll see Injustice Superman. I wonder if they're going to go just like full broad spectrum and we'll get like Hyperion from Marvel and
Uh,
just other I mean, no one's using Squadron Supreme right now, not to my knowledge.
but that's
I
the
mean,
thing though, because for NetherRealm, it's easier for them to get. I'm not gonna say easy. Well, it's a lot easier for them to get DC and other comic book brand characters than Marvel, just because that's a lot of red tape to go through.
I mean, they pull up.
I would love to see that though. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see that. I would love to see Hyperion in a fighting game like Mortal Kombat, but
I
I
mean, it's one of those things of like, I mean, we're seeing the theme does seem if Omni Man and Homelander are in it, we know for sure. We already have the combat pass too. Thank God I get to have my Ermac in this game.
mhm.
The fact that the new combat system is something we'll talk about in just a moment, but we get like Jean-Claude Van Damme version of Johnny Cage.
I was gonna bring that up because
I wonder if that's Liu Kang being petty that Johnny Cage became the main character of Mortal Kombat in the second reboot.
Because when I first heard that John Claude Van Damme was going to be a part of this, I'm like, wait, which John Claude Van Damme are we getting? Are we getting Bloodsport John Claude Van Damme, Hard Target John Claude Van Damme, Street Fighters John Claude Van Damme? Which one are we getting?
Well, we know his friendship's going to be the dance from whatchamacallit. It's got to be.
No.
It's got to be the friendship. It's got to be that dance.
I would be laughing if it's the. Oh wait, what dance is that? What movie? What movie was that? Crap.
Kickboxer, I think.
Yes, it was Kickboxer. The dance for Kickboxer. Oh, I would laugh my head off if that's his friendship. I would. That you know what? That would be freaking perfect. But about the fight system though, because most games these days, Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Mortal Kombat 1 is no different. So the what did they mention about the fight system, Joe?
So the fight system this time around is you pick a character, then you pick what is called a cameo character, which seems to be that assists you in combat. And going through watching other streamers that are very popular in the fighting game community, most notably Maximilian Dude, equated it to Marvel vs. Capcom 1 PlayStation 1 version, where you could pick your character because PlayStation could not handle the swapping at that time. And then you could pick another character to be your assist. So you got your main character and your assist tool, or it's like a MVC, just one character and assist.
Huh. So yes.
Or if you want to get really in there, deep in the woods to the new game, VTuber Idol Showdown does exactly this thing that's going on right now, where you pick a VTuber and then you pick a other VTuber.
Well, I'm not against that. If that's what they're running, because I mean, fighting games have to evolve. I mean, I'm not against it.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, this is a way for them to put in like the goofiest of goofy characters, I believe. Looking at the Italy thing, we see that Trimmer and Chameleon and Madovo
are part of it.
Mavado.
We haven't seen Mavado since Ultimate, since 3.
Are cameo characters. So, but I mean, on top of that, if you can pick anybody from the roster to be a cameo character, if you're not picking, if Scorpion's assist is not the get over here, and you're not just picking Scorpion to extend your combos, you're not playing the game right.
I mean, you could also do the same thing with. I mean, you could take Cabal or Strikers. Strikers could extend them. If you take their,
all agreed. The less about that man said, the better.
Or even Aaron Black. If we took Aaron Black from later MKs, those could also extend combos as well if they stick to his real movesets.
I'm also wondering, and of course, this is pure speculation. There was an actual combat community town hall thing with Ed Boon today. I don't think either one of us got to be able to see that because of life.
No.
My other thing is if the assists or individual characters not accessible on the roster. So, like, you pick a roster character, then you have your own individual stable of cameo characters.
That would be. I'd be interested, but of course, that is coming out the 19th, which I thought was really interesting. That we're going to see an MK1 game this year. I was really expecting to say sometime next year, but the fact that we're going to see it 4 months from now is. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Impressive. No, I was just saying that we're seeing a Mortal Kombat game this year. Really, right before the holiday season, I thought that was impressive. I didn't see that coming. But what were you gonna say?
I'm honestly not too surprised because this has been NetherRealm's MO for quite a while. It's like do a bunch of stuff, stay silent, and the moment you drop the trailer, oh, by the way, the game's coming out in like 2 to 3 months. They did this the last 2 Mortal Kombat things, I think.
Well, yeah, you're right, because at the time we were expecting Injustice. Well, yes, about right. When we were expecting Injustice, we got Mortal Kombat, and then when we were expecting Mortal Kombat, we got Injustice. Then
I mean when they show the trailer, they say, "Oh, by the way, the game's out in about 2 to 3 months."
Right. But I'm saying before that, though.
Oh yeah.
Before that, that's what it usually goes. But you're right about that part. Although I was really hoping for Injustice 3 and see what they're going to do with that story. But again, I want to see it in Injustice 3. I don't want to see the comic book version of Crisis on Infinite Earths, but
that's the closest thing you're going to get. Well, we got Crisis on Infinite Earths with Injustice. It was called Convergence, where the dude just goes to the Injustice universe, and we're currently back with the Injustice universe now in the comics, where John's going around and doing things with not quite evil dad.
Well, that's why I'm exactly hoping it doesn't come to a video game. But speaking of video games, guys, Sega is, like I said before, me and Joe talked about this. Really, I want to say it's been 3 or 4 months ago, but the prices of games are steadily increasing. The reason why I say this, Sega, much like Nintendo, because for all those that don't know, Tears of the Kingdom, which again is a fascinating game, I picked up my copy, and I'm gonna get to it eventually. As you can see, life happens, but I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get Tears of the Kingdom eventually. But Me and Joe talked about this when Tears of the Kingdom came out. That Nintendo was aiming for a $70 price tag. Now, as you can see right here, Sega is about to do the same thing with Yakuza Like a Dragon. That they also might be considered the Like a Dragon series in posting the $70 stamp on things. Now, for all those that don't remember, yes, video games for the longest time usually fell within the $40 to $50 standpoint. But as of recent years, they have approached 60, and depending on the packages or the premium add-ons that you get, that can go from 60 to well over 100 to well over $200. Now, there's nothing wrong with this because, again, I'm going to be honest about this. I don't see nothing wrong with $70 games because that's the way. If you haven't seen the industry now, which currently right now the industry, a lot of people don't understand, video games are being affected by the writers and actors strikes right now. It's not just Hollywood. It affects video games as well. So a lot of games right now are kind of hanging in limbo because of that strike. But with that being said, though, I'm not against $70 games as long as they're complete. That's my big thing. Like, I will gladly pay $70 for a game, but I want everything that comes with it. Now, if I don't get everything immediately, then I expect to get it as it's released. Like I said before, money is tight all around, but nobody is expecting to pay $70 for the norm, and then you're paying another, let's say, $20 for the annual pass. Let's say if you're getting the individual packs, you're paying anywhere from $20 to $40. Or if you're on sandbox games like Fortnite or Apex Legends, and you're constantly paying money to get these characters released. Yeah, nobody wants to be, casino paying for a video game that really, when you think for a $70 price tag, you should be getting the absolute finished product. But Joe, what do you think, man? Do you think that $70 seems to be the norm going forward for these games, especially these next-gen games. But do you think that it's not too much to ask for a complete game at $70?
Well, I remember growing up and there were $60 and $70 games for Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. And if you were one of those Neo Geo people, you had $100 every game. So there was that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest issue I have with Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom being $70 is that game is a very empty game where you either rocket shield or build very long bridges to solve most of these games puzzles.
But you gotta give the creativity what they come up with.
Yes, it's fun. Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I was watching a few videos where some individuals came up with a lot of inventive weaponry. I'm like, I never thought about using that.
Oh, yeah, no, I've been watching this thing. I've seen someone make a Valkyrie. I've seen someone make a Gundam. I've seen someone make the final version of the Gundam from Stardust Memories, Gundam 0083. My point is, the story is Princess Mononoke, and you're paying $70 for a very vast but vaguely empty open world where the only way they addressed everyone's complaint with the durability system is to, from what I've seen Jane do, my little sister who has the game and is playing it, is pretty much stick a rock on it. It's like, well, weapon's almost right. I'm going to put a rock on that. Now, I'm going to play it eventually. And I'll be fine with it. But, I'm also, me, I'll call a spade a spade. There's a lot of appeal I don't see with this game.
Yeah.
And I own the first $70 plus you. I own the first $70 Switch game, and that was Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days, which was $20 if you brought the Brazilian version.
Yeah.
And this is a content versus quality thing. I have no doubt Zelda is of superior quality, and you are gone.
No, I'm still here. Keep going.
Oh, okay.
I'm still here. Keep going.
Gotcha. Quality over quantity is the biggest thing. It's just one of those, it's Zelda. I know it's going to be good, but at the same time, I'm looking at the story. It reminds me way too much of Princess Mononoke. Even with red tendrils and squid and cursed hands and gods helping you out and other things and dragons.
But I mean, granted, there are some setbacks, but do you think? Like I said, but again, to your point, you don't think it lives up to $70 price tag, or do you think that?
Oh no, this could have easily been a $60 game and everyone would have been fine.
Okay.
And the other problem we're having here is, I think the other reason why this is $70 is I honestly don't think Nintendo has anything else planned for this year outside of this game.
Probably not.
Aside from the Pokemon expansion coming in the fall, this is it for Nintendo right now. Like,
well,
this is it.
They banked a lot in this, and they're kind of gearing up for the holiday season, which I'm not surprised about.
No, but I'm saying they have nothing for the holiday season outside of the Pokemon expansion.
Yeah, that's what they're banking on.
Unless you're one of those people that like Pikmin, and to which I say, God be with you.
Pikmin is a patient. Pikmin is
Now,
a game.
On the other side of the coin, we're looking at Yakuza, like a Dragon. I would say that is a $70 investment. You have a story. If you look at the last game, we had not only the story, we had mini games, kart racing. We had RC car racing was in.
That was in the previous one. I know what you're talking about. That was in the previous.
We had basically Mario Kart.
Yeah.
We had a business running mini game. We had fights. We had D&D class systems that we could replay the game with multiple class systems.
But the thing about it was a complete game, though.
Yes.
It's a complete.
And I think the only thing that got added on was like a battle arena thing.
That's the thing I'm getting at. Like, I don't mind that. Like, as long as it's a complete game, or like I said, I'll give the other option. If I don't get everything at the time that I'm paying the price to obtain it or download it, then at least I should be able to get it for free on updates and patches as they come out. I mean, for $70. Now, I can complain about this all day, but again, I'm thinking with next gen consoles, your PlayStation 5s, your Xbox X or Xbox Series S, even PCs, because even though PC games, there's the games on PC prices, especially if you're playing on consoles like Steam or Asus ROGs, because they just actually let their handheld go, which again I can't wait to try that out. But the price of games is going up. I just want the quality and what we get, the content that we get. Now, like you said, Joe, for like a dragon, like for Yakuza Like a Dragon, I can understand that because that's complete. It's almost like playing Shenmue. You can play Shenmue all day. Shenmue, in my opinion, whether you're playing one or two, are still $70 games that you really got for a steal at $50 and $60 because for everything that was
but I don't want to find sailors.
Huh?
Yeah, but I don't want to find sailors.
But still, they're complete. They're still complete games, though. So
so we'll put an asterisk on Shenmue being complete because you and I both know that is not a complete game.
I'm sorry. Shenmue 1 was complete. 2 was questionable.
3 was a filler game.
3 was definitely filler. I didn't say 3. I said 1. I said 1. I said 2. I did not say 3.
3 is the example of humanity's collective good faith immediately being squandered.
Yeah, that was going to a dried well hoping to find water. But again, like I said before, with games going up, I know prices are going to be sticking around 70 just because better, hardware, things of that nature. Games got to make a profit. I understand. I just want the quality to go along with the price. But before we get to our next trailer, I know Joe definitely has seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I have yet to see it, but I know he wanted to give his impressions on it. So, sir, what did you think of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
It is definitely one of the best end caps. This probably makes it one of the best trilogies in the MCU, hands down. Probably for me, this is the second best trilogy because Captain America probably is just a wee bit better by a smidge, only because We technically get Avengers 2.5 and the introduction of Spider-Man in Captain America Civil War, which kind of beats that out for me. But this is, despite the fact that Captain America 1 was a thing, this was a full-on story, very easy combative. You only want to look at the MCU through the Guardians. I will say, most definitely, if you are against animal cruelty, this is a very harsh movie for you. To the point where I thought PETA would be against this movie, PETA actually came out and praised this movie for showing how cruel people can be to animals in this. So if PETA's on your side, you done effed up.
If PETA is praising you, that is damn.
Also, to the point of the actor that is actually playing the High Evolutionary, he even said it himself because he was only actually acting with the actual voice actors.
Yeah.
And didn't see what he was actually doing till the film. And then when he asked, like, so how do you feel about the film? He goes, like, I am going to hell.
Well, I mean, the High Evolutionary was definitely he was definitely an interesting character, to say the least.
This is definitely Rocket's story. You can really actually look at the Guardians movies from both collectively a Peter Quill perspective and a Rocket perspective. I actually just rewatched Guardians 1 last night. Still holds up. And you can actually watch that from a Rocket perspective because his code name 89P13 was like always there in the first one. There's only one significant plot hole that I noticed in Guardians 1 to Guardians 3 now, but I won't spoil that part. I'll tell Will later, but we get the first F-bomb in the MCU in this movie.
Nice.
James Gunn definitely leans heavily in his trauma roots in this movie because this is a lot gorier than your standard Marvel film.
Well, I mean, it's his exit, so I can understand that.
Yeah, but this is one of those like, I can't believe Disney did it.
There's the man on the wall.
Oh, we are on episode 100. I just now noticed.
Yep, we're on episode 100. So,
right,
thanks, sir. But yeah. But what else? But what else about it?
Now I am a cold-hearted, soulless person because unlike every single other person that I've talked to about this movie, I did not cry. I apparently have no emotions and am fully dead inside. Welcome to working in the medical industry, people. No, I'd probably cry if I watch it again, but I only cry in the movie theater when I'm alone.
No,
or with one other particular person.
Well, from the blurred's eye view side, Chris and the others are saying that it is a tearjerker. So for Chris, for Kira, Room Full of Blurs, they all say the same thing, that it is a tearjerker, you know. And for some of us who may be able to detach a little bit, that you're completely okay on that. Dang. He said, shame on you, Joe.
That's not my fault. I work in the medical industry. I see sad stuff every day. I have to guard myself against this kind of stuff on a constant basis.
Oh, man.
Plus, my favorite movie is When the Wind Rises out of the Ghibli movies.
Oh, man. Well,
okay, the other thing I'll say about this is not the end of the Guardians. They definitely allude to more things. I did have several people out of my friends come up. It's like, all right, who's the little girl at the end of it? It's like, we'll just say her name is Phyla-Vell, and we'll leave it at that. And I'll let you people do the Google search for yourselves. The only problem I had with it, and I had to take it and think, is Adam Warlock in this movie is not wasted, but a lot of the hardcore fans are expecting him immediately be Space Jesus like he is presented in the comics. But I'm of the mind of, this is original Adam Warlock, where this man doesn't know up from down, left from right, right from wrong.
So I got a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how many people are going to be mad about that when they see Adam Warlock?
Probably about a 6, because the man is literally just hatched.
Dang. It's gonna
be like I said, he does not know left from right, right from wrong.
Even Chris
a red herring. No, red herring is always going to be the pup named Scooby-Doo.
Well, thank you, Joe, for that. We appreciate that. Like I said,
I really enjoyed it. This was one of the most solid movies since Endgame.
Cool. Thank you, Joe, for that, because I'm definitely looking forward to that anyway, for the Warlock fans anyway. Well, with that being said, guys, we are going to move on to the next video game trailer. This is called Ashfall. Now, Ashfall kind of reminds me of another looter shooter, things of that nature. But it also kind of reminds me of a little bit of Metro Exodus mixed with Savage Land. Check it out.
Take the gun. Leave the shelter. Over the mountains. Across the deserts. Go east. Make some friends. Be powerful. Defeat all the monsters and enemies. Finish your mission. Find a new dawn.
All right, guys, and that was actually the trailer for Ashfall. As you can see there, it will be again a next gen, so it will be on mobile, PC, and PlayStation, Xbox Series X. Like I said before, it honestly reminds me of, it's like if Destiny, Fallout 4, and
Jade
and
Empire.
yeah, and Metro had a baby. I mean, it looks great. Graphics wise, it looks great. Gameplay looks good. It looks like it's gonna be pretty awesome. But again, it's one of those games to keep an eye on, because really a lot of games like that are coming out the day before, which is another apocalypse shooter. Black Myth Wukong, which again is about the Monkey King. I cannot wait to play that game. Let's see. There's another. I know I'm missing one more, but it'll come.
There's another one where you're a Chinese ninja, but I can't remember the name of the game.
Dang. It'll have to. I'll have to look it back up. I know what you're talking about, but the name escapes me right now. But again, that's beta testing opened up in July for that. Also, if you noticed on Joe under his name, under Joey Tell last name, his Twitch channel, Street Fighter beta has opened up. So as you can see right there, that is Joe's handle. If you want to meet him there, I have to download the beta just to get back into Street Fighter. But since we're here, Joe, after playing Street Fighter 6, the first version, what did you think of it?
Well, I'm playing Jury again because she feels very much like Street Fighter 4 Jury than Street Fighter 5 Jury.
Mm-hmm.
I will put this out there now. I play the game for fighting, not feet. I am not a feet dude. Street Fighter right now has been very heavily fetishizing lots of feet. You sick people. Don't think we don't know what you're doing.
I don't think I don't think when they look at Cammy, they're looking at the feet, but go for it.
Oh no, Cammy, you're looking at the booty. We ain't wrong. We ain't anything there. But like Manon and Jury, like, by the way, look at the feet. It's like, I'm not here for the feet. I'm not here for the feet. I'm here for the fighting. So no, in all seriousness, I've been doing okay at it.
Mm-hmm.
Jury actually has both move sets from both games combined into one character this time. So her pinwheels are off of her punches, and her fireball combos are off of her kicks.
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing Street Fighter 5 stuff with her kicks of do the feng shui energy store and release the fireball, but if you want pinwheel stuff from the old Street Fighter 4 days, you're doing off punches. And finally, they give me what I want with her pinwheels of hard knockdown after they hit. So we have her light pinwheel. Her light punch pinwheel is just standard sit and spin pinwheel, but does do hard knockdown.
Mm-hmm.
And her medium and her heavy are uppercut pinwheels.
Gotcha.
And of course, EX pinwheel does rising pinwheel into downward spike kick.
Okay.
So I'm doing okay with it. I like that people are trying to drive rush me, and I just throw them right out of it, and I get punish counter damage out of that. So I've been able to take the leads pretty easily on some of that. It's just remembering that Jury's limbs are not as long as they usually are. So the auto is slightly reduced, so her hit range is not as lengthy as what it once was. But the new combo system is working out. Drive canceling is definitely a thing.
That's what I gotta get used to. That's that part. I'm still getting used to. I'm getting used to the drive system, so it's taking a while.
Yeah, the parry system. People like to parry and will actually try to parry your stand.
Yeah,
you're gonna wake up DP, and I wake up throw them while they're in parry stance, because you can actually hard parry stance in this one. So you can actually hold the parry button, and they'll hold the stance, and I'll just stand up, and they're ready for me to wake up pinwheel, and I'll wake up throw them. They don't like that.
Oh man, I haven't played anybody online yet. I hope to do it this weekend, but
Lukes are everywhere. Luke and Jury is everywhere right now.
Mm-hmm.
But also in ranked match, you tell the computer, it's like, hey, I've never played Street Fighter before. Hey, I have some experience with Street Fighter 3 and 4. Hey, or 4 and 5. Hey, I've experience with Street Fighter 3, 4, 5. Or hey, I've experience with the higher thing. And then after you tell them that,
it ranks.
No. You do 10 ranked matches, and then they place you in the category. So they try to put you where you think you should be.
Okay.
And then after 10 matches, they're going to put you where you really are.
So you're going to get judged by Skynet. Skynet is going to judge you heavily. Okay. Well, that's
yeah, I mean, the spectating is really fun. I came in the middle of a match.
Mm-hmm.
And to get me caught up, It rushed through at like 8 times fight speed to get me caught up on where they were. So the first 2 matches, because they were apparently in their second set of matches, it was like a Dragon Ball Z fight. Like, it was just fireworks and blasting and zipping back and forth across the screen. It's like, is my internet freaking out? What's going on? And then finally, I just like, oh, it literally says catching up. But it was like a Luke and Jury just like Goku, Vegeta, just like splashes of paint, hit sparks, everyone like blurring back and forth. It's like, what in God's name?
You thought you ran into the world tournament. You thought you were at the world tournament at that point.
It's like, I didn't load up Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Well, that's cool to know. But thank you for that, though, because I still got to get online and fight for that. But it's good to know that, you know, there's a lot of people who are serial killers that have foot fetishes. But anyway.
Look, I told you I'm choosing Manon because she's the closest thing we got to Laura until if Laura ever does show up.
I think she will.
No, I don't think she will. Because remember, we got the full leak list of all the DLC.
Yeah, but Capcom has also surprised us a few times.
This is true. No one expected Season 5 of Street Fighter V.
Right. But
so, you know. Remember, guys, as I said before, fighting before feet.
That's going to stick in my head for the rest of the night. But some other gaming news before we move on to our next trailer or so. Bungie has sat there and said that they're asking their players about would they be interested in Destiny 3. Now, of course, right now, Destiny 2 is in its light fall season, where it's actually about to go into its next season in the next couple of days. But Bungie is actually asking its players whether or not they will be interested. Now, for me, because I am a fan of Destiny, I've been with it ever since it first launched. I keep expecting Destiny 3, but they keep bringing DLC after DLC after DLC to Destiny 2. I understand it's an MMO looter shooter. Patches and seasons come with the game. This is true. But I do think that Destiny 2 does need to come to an end at some point. Would I love to see a Destiny 3? Yes, but it will need to be heavily overhauled. I would like to expect more out of 3 than what I would get out of 2. The same way that not a lot of people are happy about going from 1 to 2 and realizing that your original vault was no longer available to you. Even more so that a lot of those weapons that you did get in 1 can no longer be used. So I'm hoping if they do come up with the Destiny 3, that they will listen to the fans and really go from there as far as giving us something more. Because again, I don't mind paying because again, Destiny is an MMO. It's much like Diablo. You are going to be paying for the packs as they come out. But just like the $70 price tag we talked about on video games earlier, I need you to do better. That's really all I'm saying in that. But moving right along on this one too, like I said, some other news, and I know Joe's going to get a kick out of this one because this is pretty much going to be, I don't know how you're going to feel about this. So I'm just going to throw this out there because we talked about this in our chat that for Captain America: New World Order, that we found out that a WWE star is going to be in the first Sam Wilson movie, and that man is the architect, he goes by so many names, but Seth freaking Rollins.
Yes, now, that is one of them.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm not against it, but I also sat there and looked at his outfit, and why am I getting Serpent Society vibes?
Yeah, I wonder which one he is.
Because I'm like, you're not going to sit there and tell me, looking at that outfit, and I'm like, he's playing one of them. I mean, now granted, we've only seen one we've heard of, which was actually back during Luke Cage, where we heard of one guy from Serpent Society. But in this case, I'm curious to see if he is playing one, which one would he possibly be? Because the colors, the whole outfit, I cannot put my finger on which one he would be, but I think he is definitely one of them. But Joe, I was going to ask you, what do you think about Seth Rollins being
Sidewinder?
Say what?
So, for all of the choices, we have 7 different members. Of course, he definitely is not going to be Princess Python.
Of course not.
Although that would be hilarious.
That'd be
So we got
funny.
Sidewinder, Anaconda, Black Mamba, Death Adder, Asp, Diamondback, Cottonmouth, Cobra, Bushmaster, and Rattler.
Well, we have to take out Diamondback, Cottonmouth, and Bushwhacker. We got to take out those three. Considering if we consider Luke Cage, those three already were established in the MCU.
So are we for sure they were Serpent Society members in that? Or were they just conveniently named?
Diamondback kind of had a play on his suit in Luke Cage. So that's what made me kind of give him the Serpent Society. And the fact that Bushwhacker, I'm like, come on now. That's the way he was fighting.
Bushmaster, not Whacker.
I'm sorry, Bushmaster. The way he was fighting in Luke Cage, yeah, he was Serpent Society. So that's what makes me think he would probably be. I could give him Sidewinder, but Sidewinder doesn't have that type of color scheme. If memory serves me right, Sidewinder doesn't have that color scheme. Now, like I said before, I'm curious to see if he is playing one, but I'm like, you can't knock the fact the way that looks. He's got to be playing a member of the Serpent Society. But even more so, it does kind of add to what are we expecting in New World Order, because number one, we do know that the leader will be the main villain out of all of it. The fact that we're going to be seeing some other cameos from other heroes, which have yet to be mentioned. And now that we might see the Serpent Society a part of this, I'm curious about this movie. I'm hoping it does well for Sam Wilson's Anthony Mackie's first go around leading his own movie, so to speak, as Captain America. But for a quick second, Joe, before we move on to the next bit of news, because the fact that Seth Rollins is now entering the movie area, from a wrestling standpoint, do you think that might be the sundown of his career in the WWE, or do you think this is just a movie?
I mean, I have no doubt this movie will be good. It's just been on how well he goes over. Because I believe that's also the news with Joseph Hanoi or Roman Reigns, is that he wants to slow down so he can attempt Hollywood as well.
Yep.
Which is, I think, also one of the reasons they took did away with one of the two titles, so he'd only have to defend one title at a time.
Oh yeah, they did. They unified them. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if anything, I'm sure he'll do fine. As for if he's coming back, that is also one of those things of him and his wife are raising a kid, and I think maybe he'd want to be able to function. If two of them are constantly on the go with the kid,
yeah,
at least one of them would maybe want to settle down more and, try to spend time with the kiddo and, being on a set and traveling the world with the kid, but staying in location for anywhere between 6 to 9 months is a bit more stable. Of course, this is all hearsay on our part. I mean, that is what it is.
I mean, I'm not against it. Like I said, I would love to. I don't want to see wrestlers get the Ric Flair disease that you just can't seem to leave the ring no matter what. And that man is well off in his 70s, about to be 80, still in the ring.
I still say one more body slam and he just turns to dust like Dracula.
You might, really, you say that. You say as a joke, it actually might happen. But
like the other thing is the wrestlers today are much more conscious about their bodies and how much is deteriorating on them.
Yeah.
So Hollywood does seem to be a viable option because they can just go in and either help with stunt work or spin out into action careers like Cena and to a lesser degree The Rock, even though The Rock right now is in a lot of legal trouble. But
I'm not going to spoil it because I unfortunately I slipped up on TikTok and I saw a scene from Fast X. I'm like,
I'm talking about the potential kidnapping charges he's embroiled with.
Yeah, that's another one. That is.
I wasn't talking about Fast X. I was talking about like actual criminal activity.
Yeah, that's
potentially.
Yeah, potentially. But you're right. But
so with like Seth Rollins, he could just be going the John Cena route where John's like, he even says like, I would love to come back, but my body is just not physically able to do WWE anymore outside of maybe once a year. If I'm lucky, Hollywood, I'm insured.
Yeah.
Hollywood, we have stunt doubles if it's something that I know I can't handle.
And I can't knock them for it because at
No.
least that's the next step up. That's why I can't knock accomplished wrestlers that want to go ahead and take on movies and just be a movie star. I mean the fact that you can do a promo in a wrestling ring means that you do have somewhat of acting ability.
I mean, it's also just much more acceptable than it was back in the day. Like anybody can get a chance now to at least land a show or get in on something. Like Edge was doing heels, I think, for a bit, or Viking show.
Oh yeah, he was doing a lot. Edge was doing a lot.
And that's because he couldn't at the time because of the neck thing. Yeah. But like back in the day, if you weren't Hulk Hogan, you just were stuck in the wrestling world.
Pretty much.
With very little means to translate unless you were a Jerry Springer plant.
True. But Hulk Hogan, I mean, that man had some terrible movies. They kept getting movies, a lot of them were good and terrible, but
except for Suburban Commando, which is nothing but a gem.
Pretty much. But no, I mean, I'm not against it. I would love to see Seth Rollins. I would love to see Joseph Benoit really get into movies, just because, like I said, they're getting older. The body can only take so much. But again, I'm just going to be curious to see what they're going to do, especially with the fact of Night of Champions happening over in Riyadh next week. But other than
watch it, I'll be asleep.
Nobody will be watching. Well, who am I kidding? I'm definitely be watching it. It's a blood pay-per-view, but that's a whole new story. But moving right along, guys, there's other news we also wanted to cover as well. Well, we might as well start off with Disney because, like I said, with the strike going on and writers and now actors are actually joining the strike, some networks are beginning to really trim the fat in a lot of places. We start with Disney because, guys, if you don't notice that Disney and Hulu are going to become one single platform. Now, with that being said, Disney, because they've acquired Hulu, will be removing a lot of stuff from Disney Plus. Now, as you can see right here, of course, I'm not going to try to go through all of this, but understand that a lot of this is interesting. For example, The Big Fib, Big Shot, Black Beauty, Cheated by the Dozens, Diary of a Future President, even The Mighty Ducks, which was actually a reboot of The Mighty Ducks.
Okay, so I was unclear about The Mighty Ducks because there are 3 different things of Mighty Ducks on Disney Plus. Are we talking about the series, the movie, or the animated series?
That's the series.
Yeah, I'm okay with that as long as they don't touch the animated series, because I got to have Dinosaur Tim Curry do stuff.
No, the animated series is still there. That Mighty Ducks, I checked into that. That's the series that they tried to come back with, where Emilio Estevez was only around for 1 season. But as you can see, guys, it is a lot that Disney is cutting. Also, Hulu's list, maybe not so much, but still, it just goes to show you that a lot of things they are cutting. Really is just letting you know the fact that not only of the strike, but a lot of networks themselves are looking at exactly shows. And this is why I say, and I guess then I'm gonna throw this to Joe as well. This is why I say streaming and viewership is going to matter a lot going forward. Just because we've seen it in Netflix, we've seen it on other streaming services, that the streams and viewerships and the rewatches aren't high, especially with the budgets that a lot of these shows have. Even with multi-flush companies like Disney and Hulu, they are going to start cutting programs. So if I were y'all, start getting those DVD compilation lists ready, because DVDs are going to start making a comeback just because streaming services are kind of feeling the same thing that cable did in years previously. But Joe, what do you think?
I mean, on the bright side, now I can watch Bonkers and Bob's Burgers without having to change apps. I mean, this isn't too bad. I thought that list was going to be much, much worse, but it turns out it's going to be most of their original content that was taken down, and some of it is, even then, a lot of it is either their one and dones, or in Willow's case, their more poorly performing content.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, we're really just getting the same model that most international models are, because Disney Stars is just Hulu.
Yeah.
That is already functioning in the same app across in international markets. So what we're really getting isn't so much a merger as we're just getting the international market with a different name.
Pretty
Is
much.
what that is. But on the thing of Disney Plus, and to only go on a mild tangent, but we both watched this. Let's talk about the Electric Mayhem.
Oh man, I love it.
Leave it to the Muppets to teach children what an acid drop is through the use of expired marshmallows.
But it was educational. It was an educational learning experience.
I gotta say, this was so much fun. I binged all 10 episodes in 2 days. The music is outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Love it, love it, love it. We get backstories for quite a bit of them. We get a new backstory for Baby Animal.
Right.
Which I guess now that means that we know who drops Animal off at daycare with Nanny and Muppet Babies.
Pretty much.
So that at least lets us know that what's his name? Something Pepper. Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Floyd Pepper. Floyd is the one that drops Animal off with Nanny and Muppet Babies from here on out further.
Yeah.
So I guess that technically makes Janice his mom to a degree.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sure. No, all the cameos was fantastic. I love that Weird Al was part of the acid trip. It makes so much more sense. As I said, the music covers were fantastic. The Minecraft episode was hilarious. It was just a lot of fun. It's a Muppets show done correctly.
Yeah.
You don't keep it around for a long time. You don't try to make it a multi-seasonal thing. You get a point A and a point B, and you just tell the story and let it finish.
You would like, yeah, that's all it needs to be. And again, I love it. I just loved. I cracked up laughing a lot harder than I was holding my son, trying to show him the wondrous world of Muppets, and I'm sitting there cackling like I'm 6 years old all over again. But no,
I mean, I can't believe that Morgan Freeman could have played Zoot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I give that. But no, it was definitely great.
I even like the AEW wrestling joke or the NWA wrestling joke in there, where Floyd challenges William Corgan, also Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, and owner of NWA to a match, and Corgan's like, "You know what you did last time."
God.
He's like,
but no, it was definitely great. But in other news, guys, really quickly, PlayStation, like I said before, we are getting to the point of the season of games, which, let's just be honest, we only watch it for the trailers. But PlayStation has already came out ahead and saying that they are going to do a showcase next Wednesday, May the 24th. It is speculation as to what will be shown.
No, we have confirmation on that.
Oh, go for it.
It is Spider-Man 2.
Okay, so they will be showing Spider-Man 2. So, okay.
We will be getting new information on Spider-Man 2. We don't know if it will be like the last showcase where it is exclusively Spider-Man 2, or if it's Spider-Man 2 and other things, but it has been confirmed. We will get new Spider-Man 2 information, possibly gameplay next week.
Nice. Then we will definitely be on the lookout for it. Also, Netflix. It's one thing to experience Squid Game, but Netflix has taken it upon themselves to actually do a show that is going to come this November. They called it Squid Game: The Challenge, which will be streaming in November, will basically be based upon the show, which means that 456 people will be given the chance to win nearly $5 million. But if you've seen Squid Game, we hope it will not equal death.
But I do want it to equal at least the amount of punishment from Takashi's Castle.
Damn. But they did say that the show itself has been reportedly alleged that there have been inhumane conditions for the contestants, talking about being woke up at 3:30 in the morning on the set for 9 hours, unable to move or to drink or go to the bathroom. But I'm like, well, it is called Squid Game. You kind of got a warning in that. You got a warning that you're basically playing a game that was based on a very popular series. I mean, what more? I mean, how much more of a warning symbol do you need, personally? But again, that comes out this November, and that'll be interesting. Also, another show that Joe had pointed out to me that will actually be coming out on the Cartoon Network. This actually is called Hey by Alteric Harris. It is a script has already been written for this. So we'll be recording soon, but it will be coming out on the Cartoon News Network. I'm not very familiar with this man's content, but Joe, you mind filling the blanks on this?
Oh yeah, no. The main content creator is from Toonrific Tariq.
Mhm.
He's one of the multiple animation boards that you can find across YouTube. Who they all have a very tight network. I watch a good bit of them. Toonrific Tariq, Hats Off Media, Man of a Thousand Thoughts. They're just all big animation boards.
Okay.
He is mostly known for looking at things like his Love of Family Guy, his retrospective on every Peanuts special.
Mhm.
Just doing slice of life shows like Pepper Ann, other things. At some point, he promises he'll do Fillmore, but I think it's one of those long distance promises because that's one of those.
That sounds like
You know,
wishful thinking.
no, it's not wishful thinking. It's just one of those you're expected to do Fillmore because you're a blur animation blurred, and Fillmore was one of the most notable animated series with a black lead.
Yeah.
So it's one of those like I'll do it when I feel like it. Stop asking.
But you want to do it, but you also want to do it and be well with it, not just do it and then just be crappy. So I can understand.
They listed the whole cast along with the tweets. I'm looking forward to it because I listen to him. He's got a podcast also called Cartoons That Curse, which is a bit on hiatus. I wondered why. Now I know why. So, I'm looking forward to it. Clearly, this is going to probably be on Adult Swim, considering one of them is clearly holding a cigarette, be it normal or jazz type. We don't know which. Look,
I see what you did there.
Not a jazz cigarette. Those things may be illegal in some states, except for Colorado.
Arizona. But keep
Right
going.
now. But like I said, I'm looking forward to this. Just love this guy's work. He's a hard worker. And I just wanted to get it out there. And I figure our platform, along with Bird's Eye View, would definitely be the platform to get it out there. And Chris, if you're still watching, see if you can contact this guy and talk to him. I think you guys would have a wonderful conversation with this man.
Cool. Well, definitely would look forward to that. Also, like I said, this is the middle of strikes are still going on. Yeah,
I didn't realize this started filming.
It actually wrapped. It wrapped, and that's the thing about it. Hellboy, the Hellboy creator had sit there and said that he loves the film. He loves how the film has been because it's actually wrapped production. So Hellboy the Crooked Man actually finished, I don't know, in record timing before the strike, actually. And I'm going to be honest, I still want to watch it. Now, keep in mind, this is the now third Hellboy attempt to be rebooted now. Now, The Crooked Man, I don't want to spoil it for people. It is really a great story. If you haven't had the chance to read it from a comic book standpoint, highly recommend that you do so, or an audiobook, up to you. But if it does follow the original story itself, and if the casting is done right, I think it'll be great. But the fact that they got this done, which they had to have it done before the strike started, is still amazing to me. But yeah, that I cannot wait for that to actually come to light. But Joe, have you read The Crooked Man, or have you been familiar with it?
The version of The Crooked Man I am familiar with is the Fables version.
Okay.
Which was the video game. I did not get to read it. Outside of the two animated series and the movies, I am not completely up on Hellboy, other than the time he and my version of Starman teamed up with.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to that. But no release date, like I said, it is wrap production. Speaking of things that have wrap production, this next trailer, I'm a Mission Impossible fan. Do not get me wrong. Tom Cruise has won in life. At this point, this man is just doing side quests for fun. That being said, the trailer for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 came out, and I don't know how I feel about it.
I will say this. These movies will stop being made when Tom Cruise dies from doing a stunt at this point.
You got to just watch. You'll see what we're talking about.
Your days of fighting for the so-called greater good are over. This is our chance to control the truth, the concepts of right and wrong for everyone for centuries to come. You're fighting to save an ideal that doesn't exist. Never did. You need to pick a side.
Joe had a point. These movies are not going to stop until Tom Cruise somehow successfully offs himself in one of these movies. But that was Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. As you can see, will come out in July of this year. Like I said, guys, I don't know how I feel about this because, like I said before, I love the Mission Impossible movies. I thought after, I think the last one was, I want to say the last one was Fallout, but no, Fallout was 5.
Ghost Protocol?
Say what?
Ghost Protocol?
Yeah, Ghost Protocol was the last one. But here's the thing about that. Now, Ghost Protocol to me should have been the end. I think it should have we should have just, you know what, said, you know what, Mission Impossible, you gave us 6 great movies. Let's just say Ethan Hunt rides off into the sunset. This feels like if
doesn't he ride off into the sunset with his wife?
He would. I think well, it's weird. After Ghost Protocol, his wife kind of lives a married but single life, and he watches her from afar and that kind of weird stuff. But anyway,
that's Eyes Wide Shut. That's a whole different movie with Tom Cruise.
I mean, that was Ghost Protocol's ending. But the thing about it is, guys, with this next, I just don't see maybe it's the fact that now it's like Fast and the Furious. Don't get me wrong, I still want to see Fast X just because it's a guilty pleasure. It's a guilty pleasure. Yes, it makes no sense. Yes, physics have been thrown out the window. A Dodge Charger has been confirmed in
3 parts.
Say what?
Yes, Fast 11 has been confirmed, and it's a 3-part movie.
Yes. So it is.
The family has 3 syllables in it.
Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure. I admit that wholeheartedly. But Mission Impossible is starting to go that same route. I'm just like you said, Joe. What more can Ethan Hunt do at this point?
Oh, I'm not there to watch Ethan Hunt. At this point, I'm there to watch Haley Atwell.
I can't knock you for that. But I just don't see the point. As as a fan, and again, it's like, how many other ways can Ethan find different enemies that have these world-ending devices, diseases, things of that nature? I'm just like, it's almost like you're just trying to outdo your death on every movie.
At this point, I'm honest to God surprised he's not run into Daniel Craig's Bond.
But at least No Time to Die actually killed James Bond. Spoilers, by the way. No Time to Die kind of leaves the point that James Bond does die in the movie. But again, spoilers if you haven't seen No Time to Die.
It's just a title.
Although the thing about No Time to Die, one of Daniel Craig's best James Bond movies, by the way. But I just don't see the whole thing behind Mission Impossible. I mean, Dead Reckoning is what? It's like you're rehashing the same thing. And it's, again, I would love to see Simon Pegg. I would love to see Ving Rhames. I would love to see the old crew still with him. But how many more times you keep going back to the well till the well is dry? And at this point,
part of the problem is the statement you just made. The old crew. Ruby old.
I keep expecting Ving Rhames to pull a Murtaugh, like, I'm too old for this.
At this point, it's Mission Impossible for us to stand up straight half the time.
Right. But, Simon Pegg, which, again, I still keep hoping another Star Trek movie gets made, but that's going to be few far in between. But no, it's just the whole idea of just where does it go? I mean, Mission Impossible does have to have an end because I just don't see. I mean, the last time they made a Mission Impossible movie, Tom Cruise sidelined himself for at least half a year because he took on a stunt and pretty much shattered his lower body. So it's like, what more do you have to do at this point to realize that just maybe, you might want to hang it up?
I mean, in Top Gun Maverick, he wanted to fly the jets, and the Air Force was like, "Oh God, no."
You would think from an insurance standpoint, you want to do what?
Yeah, that's the thing that confuses me. They don't want to insure Jackie Chan, but and his stunt team is uninsurable in the U.S., but they continue giving Tom Cruise carte blanche.
That's the part I'll never understand. So it's like you do one rumble in the Bronx and all of a sudden you're insurable. But yet you can do Top Gun Maverick and, we got you covered. I will never understand.
Well, that's because, like I said, the Air Force flat out told him no.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, we'll shoot scenes in there and we can shaky cam you to high heaven, but you are not going up in that jet.
Still. I mean, he wants to be in a we all get that dream of being in a multi-million-dollar fighter aircraft. Do we really want to do it? No, because it's a lot different when you're behind the wheel of a multi-million-dollar airplane that can pull 9 Gs. It's not fun. But speaking of things that are, I won't call them not fun. I don't know how I feel about this. So Dead by Daylight has a new trailer. And if you haven't seen it, well, are you a Nicolas Cage fan? If not, here it is.
There's nothing more powerful than imagination. It can shape the fabric of reality, transforming everything you may think you know.
Yes, that is Dead by Daylight, Nicolas Cage. Now, for all that don't know, Dead by Daylight is a survival horror. It is basically a way of just seeing if you can outlast, pretty much, let's just say, survive, as in the word Dead by Daylight. Now, not a lot is known about Nicolas Cage, whether he will be the victim or the predator, or because I kept looking at his dress and I'm like, well, he dresses like a guy. Because at first I thought he was this character from Face Off. I thought he was for a second, just by the dress, but he looks like a guy who's just kind of been through it, who hasn't actually seen a shower in a couple of weeks. But I don't know what to think about that. Like I said before, Dead by Daylight's not usually my game, but I can guarantee it's going to be somebody's cup of tea. But Joe, you have the most interesting look on your face. What do you got?
I don't know what to make of it, because, I mean, if it's Nicolas Cage, does that mean he's got all the powers of Nicolas Cage, so he can be Ghost Rider and Face Off and Renfield and that one silent dude from the Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff and Con Air and Everything else, Merchant of Death.
I can see the Merchant of Death just for the Lord of War. I can see that. I can kind of see Ghost Rider, but I think Marvel may have a problem with using their likeness in Dead by Daylight. So, or he could be the Wicker Man. The Wicker Man he could be. If that, I could see that. But I don't know. It's interesting, but I have to wait. I have to get up because I know a friend of mine who's
Wait, don't we already have Candyman in this game?
Yes.
Okay, well then they have the model for all the bees at the very least.
Yeah, that too. But I'm gonna be curious to see what they do. I guess I got a friend of mine that's a big Dead by Daylight fan. I'm gonna have to ask him how he feels about that. But before we get into the CW news and our reviews, I kind of want to let Joe take this one because I know as we're getting to the comics, I want him to explain this because for Power Rangers, because they are basically in. Again, I'm still catching up, but Power Rangers is doing a year-long Darkest of Hour event that is supposed to change the team forever. So, Joe, would you be able to, for the rest of us, including myself, let me know what's going on with that?
Okay, so currently in the comics, we're in the era known as Reunited Recharged. And Rita has basically gotten all the powers she ever wanted to the point where she has pretty much become Master Vile herself, to the point where she's now calling herself Empress Vile. So this is rewriting basically season 3 of Power Rangers.
Okay.
There is no Master Vile, there is no Rito. Hopefully Shadow's not watching this because I'm about to spoil a really big plot point. Her new henchman is the physical body of Zordon that she held in safety to use as a conduit of energy that she can control. So she has the literal physical body of Zordon at her command.
Oh, wow.
And the whole premise of this is, what if Rita wins and gains control of the morphing grid and allows it to become infected with Dark Spectre's energy?
Huh.
And that is what this whole thing is. Now, the zombie Pink Ranger, that's probably a misnomer, unless, of course, she starts adding in previous villains like the Death Ranger. And then we got a whole bunch of other problems because he can make zombie rangers. That was a whole thing for a bit. Because we learned that the Death Ranger was the Omega Gold Ranger, who was an alien who's had no concept of life or death. He just wanted his friends to. We discussed this actually, I believe.
Yeah, he's trying to bring his friend back from the dead.
Yeah. So he has no real concept of life or death, but he makes unlife. So either this Pink Ranger is a symbol of, she's going to recruit the Death Ranger, or this is just a spooky cover for an episode, for an issue to go, oh, this is what's going to happen when Rita wins. But we're getting a full year-long run of Power Rangers What If Rita Won?
Interesting.
And how does this affect the team, the Mighty Morphin team, and the world around it if Rita's actually achieved her goal?
Okay, that's good to know. Well, the next thing I have, let me go and say this first because number one, this issue is not out yet. So this issue has to deal with Spider-Man. I'm going to say this now because I'm going to give you 30 seconds to leave us or come back to us in 30 seconds. Because number one, this is going to annoy Joe. I can already tell you it's going to annoy Joe.
Well, this isn't going to annoy Joe. Joe was very aware of this. It's Marvel going, it's like, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. By the way, here's the spoiler.
Yeah. And the reason why I say that, because keep in mind, if you've been watching this podcast, Joe has tried to give the Zeb Wells run of Spider-Man. He tried. Keep in mind, this man has tried his hardest to give it a run to where he just said, you know what? It's not.
After Dark Web, I'm done.
Yeah, after Dark Web, he's done. So it did not help that Marvel in the next issue of Amazing Spider-Man 26 that we get this picture.
No, we've actually confirmed this. There's actually the full cover now.
Oh yeah, but I want to show this one because this was the one that was plastered everywhere. To where if you don't think Peter Parker has already had a hard enough time in the Zeb Wells run Well, the next issue of Spider-Man is basically going to be saying that we are going to kill off Miss Marvel. As you can see, Spider-Man is holding her, and the Fantastic Four, and for some odd reason, Mary Jane and the man she is with is somehow still in this picture. What were you gonna say, Joe?
So yeah, we got the full backstory with her and Paul. That's whatever. However they want to let Mary Jane out of the thing, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
But it's weird though because everybody thought. I'm sorry, not to cut you off, Joe, but it was just weird that everybody thought that Mary Jane. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I thought Mary Jane was gonna bite it, I was like, finally, she deserves it. It's like it's not her.
So a lot of people are, and I can actually add on that. If you do read the book, and I have been keeping up through means, I refuse to give that money any more money. Mary Jane technically did nothing wrong. If you were up to date on the book, she legit held out for 6 years of waiting for Peter before finally throwing in with Paul. And the kids are not her own. She found them in the universe that they were trapped in.
This is true.
So,
this is true.
She technically did nothing wrong. She it's a comic book character. I'm not going to say she cheated. She waited 6 years for her man to return, and you can only hold out for so long. On top of that, Paul even says, "Hey, I have ED. We can't be sexually active," just to further make sure.
It makes it worse. It just
Oh
makes
yeah,
it so much worse.
Because she tries to, and he's like, "Yeah, I can't. I got ED." She's like, "Oh, well, I guess just being a mom's gonna have to do everything for me."
But it's weird though, moving forward, like the fact that we are moving forward with actually offing Miss Marvel in the MCU.
So that statement. So let's get right out of the gate with this. We are fridging Miss Marvel solely for the reason we will bring her back in November when the Marvels comes out.
Yeah.
For two very distinctive reasons. One, that will increase the sales of Miss Marvel when the book comes back under her title. Two, in the MCU, we will copy what she is in the MCU because we can use resurrection protocols and make her a mutant. Because right now she is the most active Inhuman outside of Lockjaw in Marvel right now. We have not seen the Inhumans outside of Lockjaw since the death of the Inhumans. Like, they will not touch them. They will not. Well, I take that back. We had Black Bolt, who died a pretty hilarious death in Monk. That was the closest we got to Black Bolt, an Inhuman outside of Miss Marvel. Teragenesis is an awesome word and a really nice phrase, but that is the reason we are fridging Miss Marvel. Now, the biggest issue I have with this is she's not dying in her own book.
Right.
She's dying in Spider-Man's book, where, if you are paying attention, she has had a constant cameo in that book. She has been an intern at Oscorp since Zeb Wells took over. She looks very not like Kamala Khan. She looks like Kamala if she was in her early to mid-20s, not a high school student, but kind of a college sophomore, which I don't know if she is or not. I don't ever see Kamala as being outside the same range as Miles.
Yeah, they're all keeping around the same age range, yeah.
Yeah. I don't ever see her being a 20-something. Like, she's going to be the eternal 18, 19-year-old. She even had a small part in Dark Web, which was kind of pointless, but still her own adventure.
Yeah, that's the thing. But you're right though. It is a nice little way to sideline Miss Marvel until the Marvels comes out later this year. So that definitely does make sense.
But there's no reason to fridge her in any other book other than her own book.
Right.
I wouldn't even, and the bad part is the people that we see grieving are none of her supporting cast.
That part.
Her parents, her brother, her sister-in-law, her nephew, who may or may not still be a baby or maybe a toddler at this point.
Right.
Her love interests, her best friends, nobody. It is only the superhero community. And that's the biggest thing that bothers me, because if you read the Ms. Marvel book, it's really not about the superheroes. It's really about the friends, the family, and the community that she has in the Jersey City area.
Yeah.
That is the biggest letdown. Is she's going to die in a book where she's just a cameo most of the times without any of her supporting cast, and that's what bothers me the most.
Yeah, but hopefully the reintroduction will be nice once the Marvel stuff's actually out. But moving right along, guys, to the last bit of things I have before we get into our Flash and Superman Lois reviews. The CW has decided that to say something that we've known all this time, that the CW is moving in a new direction as a superhero show, as the CEO of CW, President Entertainment, Brad Schwartz, has sat there and said, "We are thankful for the superhero shows. They are the hallmark. They were the hallmarks of CW for a long time. As we look forward and try to make this network bigger and profitable, frankly, as much as we love these shows and they have their time, they're not working on linear." When he talked about the future of Superman and Lois, he said the young adult audience not making an appointment with broadcast today, the network will attempt to attract an older audience by getting bigger and broader. Now, of course, he is talking about Gotham Knights, which still is in limbo, but I refuse to watch that show. But Superman and Lois was probably the best show going on right now on the CW outside of your teenage drama and vampires and Winchesters, and of course Kung Fu, but Kung Fu's already been canceled. Riverdale's already been canceled, and somehow Nancy Drew is still around. But it's amazing to me how the CW, which by the way became relevant because of superhero shows. You start off with Arrow, then you picked up the Flash, then you did Legends of Tomorrow, then you went to Black Lightning, then you picked up Stargirl. Then you went to Superman and Lois. And then I forgot. And somewhere in the middle of all that, you picked up Supergirl. So you based your entire network around superhero shows. Now, for a lot of these superhero shows, I believe that for like Supergirl, it may have been like $1 million per episode production. But Superman and Lois has to have a higher price tag. But look what you're getting from it. It's one of the best shows out there on CW. And more than likely, after the CW has moved on from superhero shows, may get picked up by Max, which again, hopefully that's the case. But I find it interesting that the CW is like, oh, well, we thank the superhero shows for getting us here, but you know what? We want to go back to our teenage dramas and replays of Dynasty. But Joe, what do you think about that? The fact you say the young audience is not making an appointment with broadcasting. When I'm like, well, look what you did with the Flash. You tanked it, and which we're going to get into momentarily. But what are your thoughts on that, Joe?
I mean, they keep making the same thing, and the biggest problem with the shows is they all kind of follow the same formula. So you see one show, you get them all, with the exception of maybe Black Lightning. I mean, it's just a bunch of people running around, either getting teams way bigger than they need to for the sake of drama and controversy, because the biggest problem is you have teams this big, but no one talks to each other. And then you just keep using villains over and over and over again. I mean, to be fair for the Flash, that is kind of his MO of fighting evil speedster almost every other week. But
they
never use the words anymore.
But that's the thing. It's like I like I said, I know it was different showrunners. It was different showrunners. Which, again, since we're going into Flash, we might as well go into it. But for it to have certain showrunners, like for seasons 1 through, let's just say for seasons 1 through 3 of The Flash, it was great writing. It was great build-up. I guess the main thread was Tom Cavanaugh and just that always hanging around Reverse Flash character. But they ran through his rogue gallery so fast that it was almost like by the time you got to 4, it's like, what more do you have after that? Like for me, a good Flash season.
At that point, they were using Wally's rogue gallery.
Say what?
I mean, by season 4, they had run out of Barry's rogues gallery and were using Wally's pretty deliberately.
Exactly. So that's why I'm just like, I've never understood the Flash. Don't get me wrong. Season 9, which again, we're going to talk about A Whole New World parts 1 through 3, since the season finale is going to be next week. But it's just, for me, it should have been 5. It really should have been 4 seasons, maybe 5. But after the 4th season, where everybody get Flash powers, then you see Flash sabers and power up fireballs.
Don't forget the new one. We had lightning webs this time, so we could throw lightning around a lamppost and do a giant U-turn a la Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's just. I'm sorry. It just at that point it's almost reaching ridiculous level. And that's what I think what happened is just the fact that it focused more on Flash than actual substance. I know, play on words there. No pun intended. It was more focused on special effects and fight scenes than actual story to me. That's why I think after season 4, it just went all downhill. Now, to go into the current season, the final season, which these last episodes have been dubbed A Whole New World, which is a 4-parter, which now parts 1 through 3 have already been shown. And yes, I will go lightly over it for all those that still want to watch it. But the whole thing about the Cobalt story, Cobalt Blue, this is how you introduce him. This is how you introduce him. I mean, forget the fact that Keon is now a avatar of the Speed Force, and that Eddie was brought back by the negative Speed Force only to possibly become Cobalt Blue at the end. And then, Barry is getting thrown through time. Literally, if Quantum Leap was a 30-second ad, that was Barry throughout this entire parts 1 through 3. He pops up for a second, disappears. But the one thing that kills me is that Cecile's character, which they now decided to give her a superhero name in the next to last episode of the entire series, which she's now called Virtue, and she astral punched the negative Speed Force out of Nora. I don't care how you say it, I don't care how you do it, but I'm just saying, if I'm Disney or Marvel right now and I'm watching The Flash, I'm calling the lawyers and saying, how close is that?
I mean, technically, that is a grandma slapping her grandchild out of some sense into her. So, that's within her bounds as a grandma.
True, but it's just the whole. I'm like, you astral slap the negative Speed Force.
Well, just because she didn't take off the shoe.
Oh, that would have been death. that would have been death on both sides. But it's just this is why I say, even though they are trying to give us a nice wrap up, the fact that we're not going to get a Cisco visit, because he's already the actor who plays Cisco says that he will not do a cameo just because of scheduling conflicts and already going projects. So we're not really going to get the ending of The Flash that we so deserve, which is all the more reason that we went from an abbreviated season 9 to really an almost halfway full season, as this last episode will mark it as 13. But
I don't believe him for a moment. I guarantee you he's going to show up in the final episode.
If he does,
that's one of those things of NDA states that I must say this thing.
Well, don't get me wrong. If he does, cool. But in my mind, it's just this is one of those shows that it's for this to actually end, it does need to end properly. I just don't really see the appeal of having the Flash go through all this stuff and you're basically rehashing the storyline from season 5. That's the part.
Getting even the hidden twin brother of Barry in this one?
Yes. That's what I said. That's why I said they wrecked the story of Cobalt Blue. They literally gave him the doctor who actually took his brother at birth from the storyline. And then, you kept teasing the whole thing about the crystal. The crystal, I'm like, just call it what it is. It's the talisman. Just call it what it is. But you don't call it the talisman. You call it the crystal, which apparently...
Oh, no, it was referred to as the crystal in the comics.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I was going to think, well, yeah, different. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. But it's the whole idea just that if you're just going to do Cobalt Blue, go ahead and do it. That's my whole thing. It's you keep teasing it. We know it at this point. It's not. We know at this point it's just trying to reconcile his twin brother, which again would be weird that this is the story you choose to end on. That's the part that I have issues with. This right here, the Cobalt Blue story, that could have been a season 4. season 4, season 5. You could have done your whole. You really could have done your whole season on Cobalt Blue instead of trying to smash it down to 4 episodes.
Well, yes and no, because we actually would have needed Nora for that, because the Cobalt Blue story was majorly Wally.
Yeah.
Wally stuff featuring Barry because of the whole like time travel whatnot.
Yeah.
So we would have needed Irie, meaning we would have actually needed Nora.
True, but you still could have made it work. It still could have.
And we also need Barry to be killed by the Anti-Monitor at least 5 times.
Still can make it work. I mean, there could have been some. There could have been some liberties with that, but still, that's a whole. That right there is an entire season where you could have done it.
Yeah.
But
and then all the different future flashes.
Yeah, but you chose it. This is what they go with.
We never got a John Fox cameo.
Nope.
That makes me sad.
We didn't get a lot, but again, the season finale of The Flash will be upcoming. Will be coming up, and that will do it for the next to last remaining episode of what is known as the Arrowverse. Because Superman Lois, even though The Flash had a rather dull episode, Superman Lois didn't disappoint. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner was exactly the type of title you want to give it. Because I've never seen it's like a Romeo and Juliet situation where you saw Bruno Mannheim and you saw and Henry Irons just literally have the death stare. And I'm just like, why am I getting Kingpin Daredevil vibes? Because you see Henry Irons doing the suit and Bruno Mannheim was just squaring up like he's about to take him on. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get Kingpin Daredevil vibes here. But I love the fact of how they humanized him. They humanized him in Onomatopoeia. They literally gave us a great episode, and it did not need the usual Superman action, if it makes sense. Although it was the most awkward family dinner I've ever seen on television.
I still don't know why they're using Onomatopoeia. That's a Green Arrow villain.
Throwing them all in there. That's one thing about it is, like I said, I don't mind it because you're right, it's a Green Arrow villain, but I don't mind it. It works for the story. It works for the story to actually put that in there, so I'm not against it. Although the other part was the fact that they kind of opened the door to Lex Luthor coming back, where they said, at the end that Luthor may be innocent because Onomatopoeia may have framed him for those murders, and that does beg the question before we move on to our comic pools or any other news we have, was just that if they do decide to introduce Luthor, and if Superman and Lois does get another season, whether it be, well, let's be honest, if they do get another season, it's going to be on Max. Do we see Luthor as the next big bad for Superman and Lois if they do get season 4?
But we do know that Luthor's coming because he's been cast.
Okay, but we don't know if they're getting a season 4 though.
No.
Well, that's the thing about it. We don't necessarily know if Superman and Lois is going to get a season 4. That's the big thing. Luthor has been cast. You're exactly right about that. But as far as the future home of where it's going to be, that's going to be the $90,000. That's going to be the $5 million question. But overall, to me, Superman Lois episode was great. I had no issues with it. But yeah, we're all going to be on pins and needles trying to figure out where they're going to land if there's going to be a season 4. But what do you think, Joe?
I mean, I'm all for it. Series has been consistently good. A few hiccups here and there, but the hiccups are more on the production side than anything. The storytelling's been good, and I've been enjoying it. I just haven't been able to sit down and watch anything as of late because 9-hour work days are a thing for me right now until the month of June. And I'm having to work on my people skills because I'm training people.
Why do I want to see a video of that? Why do I want to see a video?
Well, it's actually much more relaxed than you think.
I just see them, and you have great patience, but there are going to be sometimes I feel like it's an office moment waiting to happen. But anyway.
Oh, no, all my people have been fantastic. It's just I am not a very personable person with new people. I have to be like let in, or you got to know somebody I know, and then I'm more chill. I'm more of a, what's the term of it? I'm a better project manager than I am a person manager.
Fair enough. But that's all the news that I have, Joe. Any other news before we move on?
You got Wonder Woman's daughter.
Come again?
Yeah, Google Wonder Woman's daughter.
Okay. While I'm doing that, what's it about?
Wonder Woman's daughter has officially been revealed as part of the Donna DC initiative. She is going by the code name of Trinity, and I believe her name is Lizzie Prince, or possibly Lizzie Trevor, as we do not know who her dad is. Although very certainly it's Steve Trevor. The hair kind of gives it away. She has also noted that she has one of Wonder Woman's more classic costumes, the full body costume, including pants. People are going to have to get this over with. And 3 lassos. Her mom's golden lasso of truth, Donna's silver lasso, and a black lasso, which we are not familiar with. This storyline will be started in Wonder Woman issue 800, coming out in June.
Okay.
And moving forward, this will be written by Tom King. And the whole premise of this thing is the Tom King story will get us from Wonder Woman now to Trinity taking over the mantle of Wonder Woman. And the current story arc is an Amazon has killed somebody on U.S. soil, and as a result, all Amazons are now outlaws and to be treated as potential terrorists on U.S. soil. So Wonder Woman is technically an illegal immigrant on U.S. soil, so as long as she's there. But the story also ventures 20 years out in the backstory of looking at Lizzie learning the ropes as Wonder Woman via her 2 brothers, Damian and John.
Huh.
A lot of people were surprisingly kind of okay with this, which is oddly gratifying. There's not a lot of backlash on this.
Wow, what they're making.
Mostly because 2 of the members of the Trinity already are parents, and that has actually elevated their characters much higher than usual. Like, let's be real. Superman prior to John, his most notable adventures are him dying.
Pretty much.
And then before Superman taking him over. We can name a lot of stuff happening with John now via Clark.
Yeah.
And him being a helicopter dad. Now, Bruce is, to me, always been a father, and Damian is just the loudest the loudest in the litter of Bat kids.
Between him and Jason Todd, yeah.
I mean, Jason is Jason, but even right now, Jason is actually probably, I want to say, the most well-adjusted outside of Dick.
I was going to say, when Jason Todd is the voice of reason, when he's the voice of reason, that's saying a lot.
I mean, he is probably the most well-adjusted outside of Dick Grayson, and Dick Grayson still has quite a few hang-ups, so in some ways, Jason may even be more well-adjusted than Dick. But, like, of all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 question marks, 7 Bat kids, Dick, Jason, Tim, Damian, Stephanie, Cassie, Barb, Duke, 8. We always got to remember Duke. Duke is actually a thing, people. Even though no one wants to write him, Duke is a thing.
Duke never gets no love. But no, I'm not against it. I do like the fact that, Wonder Woman actually getting a daughter, like you said. The Trinity, you're all becoming older, so why not? I'm not against that at all.
That is the biggest issue, is a lot of people saying, like, well, kids age them. It's like, no, Superman's pretty much still drawn the same way, and Batman, despite how old some of these children of his have, still looks about to be in his mid-30s. Early 40s.
But I'm not against that anyway. And plus the outfit, I'm like, the outfit looks great.
Well, remember, people just throw complete B-fit if you put pants on Wonder Woman for some bizarre reason. I've never understood it. Like, Donna has pants, Yara Flor has pants. Like, it's only Diana they have a problem with.
I don't understand it. It's up there with the jury feet.
I don't know. The other thing about for me in particularly, I mean, honestly, and this is going to get me some crap. It's like, Diana's not even my favorite Wonder Woman. Yara is. So, yeah, no, you can do what you want.
Nope. That's you.
Yep, I know.
That is you. I'm not.
I do not diminish any merits of Diana, and she's been a fantastic Wonder Woman. It's just Wonder Woman came attention to me when Yara started to take over, and the only problem Yara had is that her art in her book was so detailed and so well done. It is unfortunately the reason why the book got canceled, because it was constantly behind due to the art. No, that has now officially been proven. Like even the writer slash artist says, like, I took too long and I needed help. I wouldn't ask for it. That was the reason my book got canceled.
Ah.
Which sucks because I loved Yara Flora. I thought it was a nice, interesting, brand new take on Wonder Woman that honestly was kind of needed.
Mhm.
Again, I love what they're doing with Diana right now. It's been a fantastic arc. I am happy that both Donna and Yara will be a pivotal point in the new Wonder Woman coming up. Tom King has already said so, and they will be fun aunties for Lizzie, he said. I
Mhm.
don't quite know what that means because that could mean a plethora of things depending on how you grew up.
Yeah.
So it's just an interesting thing. Once again, the Donna DC does not disappoint, although we are probably going to be talking about something that did disappoint in Donna DC here in just a moment, at least in some ways. Other than that, I don't think we have too much outside of the comics this week.
Okay. Well, whenever you're ready. Because yeah, I got a bone to pick with a few of these. Well, with one comic because I was excited about it, so I saw the artwork and I was just like, really? This is what you give us? But you guys are gonna find out momentarily once we get that going. Um, okay, got you covered, sir. All right, whenever you're ready, Joe.
All right, so Donna DC Cyborg issue 1. Unfortunately, this is one of the few Donna DCs which doesn't have its own splash panel to cover everything. So, and unfortunately, they put all the title credits to the final page. So, big reveal for this one. This is written by Michael Adaview with letters by Rob Lee. Cover art. Oh wait, no, this is not written by. Where is the?
No, I think you might have to go
Very
up.
top. There we go. Uh, Writer by Morgan Hampton and art by Tony Rainey. Remember how we talked about all the good cyborg stories have already been done and were mostly done in the George Perez era
Pretty
of both
much.
Teen Titans?
Yeah.
We love Vic Stone. We support Vic Stone. Unfortunately, Vic Stone has some really rough artwork, and Rainey does not help this book. We learn why he's back in Detroit because apparently his dad has died, and
Mhm.
this is him going around wrapping up all of his father's affairs. Apparently, he has a not quite sister, but possibly future love interest with a woman who was basically his dad's lab assistant slash fill-in daughter.
Pretty much.
Did she even get a name?
No,
Okay, so it wasn't just me, and I didn't misread it.
no, you didn't get a name.
And honest to God, I thought it was his mom with the way the artwork was.
Right, which was terrible. Oh, good God, the artwork was terrible.
And then we get the whole funeral scene, and then we learn his dad has gone and done something ridiculously stupid. The story itself was not bad. I will say this: the writing was good. The writers is one of the guys who came up through the Milestone Initiative.
Yeah.
More props. We need more writers of color, and a writer of color writing Cyborg was definitely a move in the right direction. Artwork. I want to know why the cover artist could not have been the principal artist. The art kind of
It's
hinders the book in this
outdated.
one.
The art is outdated. It is. Oh yeah.
Like, we'll show that page. Like,
It
I'm
just
sorry to spoil anything, but yeah, no, this is not good.
like who okayed this is my question. Because you would think Cyborg. I mean, come on.
Like,
Hardware
this
has
page
better
versus
artwork than
this.
this.
I'll take this every day.
But it's like night and day. It is night and freaking day. Like the cover versus what's actually in the issue. That is night and freaking day. And
I would have been super happy if we had the Static Shock artist on this book.
they would have done better. It would have been way better. I can almost guarantee it would have been way better.
Or the guy that's doing Superman that did Far Sector. Like him doing a Cyborg book after what he did with Far Sector, and we want to make Detroit like a new techno Detroit.
Be-
Oh
it-
man, that would have been fantastic.
But this is the problem. But again, this is the problem I have. It's like, yes, you are giving us folks that can write. And don't get me wrong, like Joe said, the story itself, I can see where they're going with it. I have no issue with the story. I have an issue with the artwork.
Yeah.
How it looks. It just, for it to be about an advanced tech superhero, it's outdated. It doesn't match. It's like someone said, you know what? Let me go back to the good old days of 1997 and draw that style.
No, there's not enough pouches for this to be 97, but we're getting there.
Okay. I'll try to be nice. 93. That's
about right.
That's about 93 artwork style, and I'm like, that doesn't work. I don't. Like I said, I'm not trying to crap on Cyborg because I've been one of the ones that have been saying Cyborg needs his own story, needs his own issues. I have been hoping, begging for stories, and like I said, the story itself is great. The only gripe I have is the artwork and just the overall landscape. It could be so much better.
Yeah, I mean, the story itself is, how does a man mourn a father he doesn't know?
Right.
Yes.
But it's just it could just be, and like I said before, you can let us know in the comments what you guys think, but just to me, it could be better. The artwork could be miles ahead. The story itself is solid, but to me, the artwork can be miles ahead of what it is now.
Yep. Moving on, we got Flash 799. This is written by Jeremy Adams with art by Fernando Parson, Eau Claire Albert, and Wade von Grabarger, and Tom Dernick.
Yeah.
Colors by Matt Herms and Pete Pantanazzi. Letters by Rob Lay. This was a fun issue. This rounds out. This is going to be the penultimate issue for. No, this is the final issue for Jeremy Adams.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Jeremy Adams was taken off this book, and you can really feel it in this book because we were very quickly rushed to some very, very, very big revelations in this book, especially for Mr. Terrific. But Granny, having just stolen Wally's third kid, Wally and the Terrifics and Gold Beetle and Omega Bam Man, which was Wally's intergalactic wrestling tag team partner, who just happened to be clotheslined through the cosmos during a match and just happens to land on Wally's ship.
It's still funny.
And then they find Granny Goodness, only except Granny Goodness's home base is currently being in a death match between Mr. Adam, the giant robot, and he is unnamed, but I'm just going to call him Kongzilla because that is exactly what he is.
Pretty much. It's a hybrid.
And,
yeah.
Yeah, and then Omega Bam Man and Gold Beetle just like single-handedly lay waste to these two, to where Plastic Man, Metamorpho, and Terra, who are left behind to watch the ship, are like, what the hell?
It's just the whole
even Plastic Man goes like, I am made of plastic and I can't bend that way.
It is just funny. They're just sitting the whole time like, what did we just watch? That's the whole, what did we just wait, what?
And like Gold Beetle being a constant ray of chaotic sunshine, and Omega Bam Man as the anti-monitor for like zero reason starts tearing through the buildings. They just like double high five each other, go woohoo, and go running at him. And you know, for whatever reason, it's gonna work out in their favor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the actual anti-monitor.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Wally and Mr. Terrific and Ace fight Granny Goodness and her new project, The Furious, which are children taken out of time, which is a gimmick we've been noticing in DC right now as a whole. So these are 3 children that have been taken from moments purportedly during their deaths.
Yeah.
So I know one of them is Garth's kid that may have died during Crisis of Infinite Earths when I believe during Acts of Vengeance when the what's it name? The Spectre controlled by who was the villain in Calypso controlled Spectre crushed Atlantis.
Yeah.
And presumably killed Garth's family. We know one of these Furious is Garth's family. We also find out that Granny apparently took the son of Mr. Terrific from his mother's womb before her death.
That was weird.
And the other child who with red hair and is the son of a Lord of Order, meaning this is quite possibly Don Granger's son.
Yeah.
Um,
It was weird. It was weird. Although Mr. Terrific kind of had that moment of holy crap. It is never did you see an on-site DNA scan. It's like whenever you need a paternity test, it was that quick.
Well, I also kind of had a hint even before that because he was controlling Mother Box cubes the same way he was controlling T-Sphere. So it's like, this is going to be his kid, ain't it?
He's like, you know, he's like, one of them say, that's actually your own son. Huh? It's like, let me scan this. Oh, holy crap, he is my kid.
So this wraps up very quickly. We see Wally leave in the Flash suit, but return with a full beard and in his what was the last thing version of DC called? Rebirth. In his Rebirth suit. With no explanation other than they have been on fantastical journeys and taken a long time getting back, but those are tales for another time.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning Jeremy Adams had a whole other arc planned out before getting this book taken away from him, which, honest to God, I really would have wanted to see.
Yeah, it would have been cool.
Yeah, but next up, in issue 800 of The Flash, Cy Spurrier takes over, and if you are familiar with Cy Spurrier, this man's going to subject poor Wally to everything cosmic horror there can possibly be.
Of course.
There's going to be so many eyeballs, so many space eyeballs. For you unfamiliar with Cy Spurrier, please go check out his run in X-Men. I believe he is the one who's writing the Legion of X series with Nightcrawler and Legion. Go see what all that's about, COB. It's like, you want to know what a looming shadow of an ungodly dark force is? Everybody in Krakoa is secretly Onslaught all at once.
Very much.
No, this was a good book. It's just really sad that so much is not going to get to be told. But definitely a good issue.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Titans, Donna DC. This is written by Tom Taylor with art by Nicholas Scott and colors by Annette Kwok. The Titans are back together. This is kind of an offshoot book of Nightwing because Nightwing is basically the flag bearer for Donna DC, and the Titans is basically the new Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
This starts out with Wally apparently being killed, ?
Right.
And the Titans going around doing a recruitment drive after the depleted ranks of the Justice League. They go to Garth. Garth pretty much says like, nah, I'm good. And just does a whole recruiting drive for everything. We see that despite the fact that Garfield has had therapy with both Power Girl and Whisper with help from Nightwing, he is still dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
But he is in a very loving and very public relationship with Raven now, which everybody is very happy for. And so everyone, the big thing is who killed Wally West?
Now that's going to be interesting. I did dig that. The fact they're trying to make this a little bit different, considering the fact this is now Dick's first turn at leading without a Justice League. That is going to be interesting. Now we're gonna have a whodunit, especially the fact that his best friend is dead. At least for now.
The question I have is how much continuity is all this going to be sharing? Because The Flash is Wally is dead, but Wally's also getting a new book. So I wonder how much crossover we're getting on this.
Probably not a lot.
Well, I'm hoping they'll at least reference he got better with time travel. And then it's like Wally makes a quick one. It's like, yeah, I died for a quick second. I got better. Don't worry about it.
Unless really the whole we're not going to discuss what happened. Just go with the story. Just go with it.
I'm hoping with this time around with the Donna DC initiative, has a bit more continuity to it, which was my biggest complaint about the prior stuff of prior to Donna DC was the lack of cohesion and storytelling across the board.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping moving forward that Williamson and Taylor, who seems to be the two big architects of this initiative, show a broader grasp of, hey, this is going on here, so we need to reflect it over here.
Yeah, I can see that.
Still dug the book, liked it. Artwork's fantastic. Nice versions of everybody. I was kind of chuckling to myself that Garp just immediately noped out. It's like, I got other problems. I'm not dealing with the Titans again.
He's like, no one can check on Atlantis, so y'all figure it out.
Yeah. Moving on over. This is going to be a very quick one, guys. Superman issue 4. Written by Josh Williamson, art by Jamal Campbell and Nick Dragata, colors by Jamal Campbell and Frank Martin. The long and short of this is we finally get the names of the two big bads. They are Dr. Farm and Dr. Graff. They are technically Lex Luthor's two villains because Lex finally lets us know, it's like, hey, when I first arrived in Metropolis, the reason why I'm so highly sought after is because I was the guy on the street cleaning up the crime. Superman's like, oh, you're lying. It's like, no. Before you came, I legit was the superhero of Metropolis, and you took that from me. And these two guys are the guys I constantly beef with. They are two psychotic research scientists called Dr. Farm and Dr. Graff. And then pretty much just they move on because Parasite failed. They move on to Silver Banshee, who at the end of the book we learn is dating Jimmy Olsen because Silver Banshee has technically reformed and is out on parole.
Right.
Living with Jimmy.
That was did not see that coming.
Nope, good book. Great artwork. Kind of wish the two new bad guys had better names than Dr. Farm and Dr. Graft. Kind of reminds me of Mr. Bim, Mr. Tim, and Mr. Wink from Kids Next Door in terms of villain names.
Yeah, it is kind of funny when you think about it. Farm and Graft, it kind of sticks with you, at least.
You get to see young Lex with red hair.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep. Like I said, good book. It's just there wasn't really a lot to go in depth on because this is a very cut and dry issue.
Yeah.
Will, any thoughts?
Oh no, I'm kind of digging it just because I'm like, how in the world? I'm like Silver Banshee and Jimmy. You don't. It's like I hope the next issue explains that one. You got to really explain how Jimmy managed to pull that one off. But no, it was a good issue. I dig it.
Jimmy can pull. Jimmy just can't keep.
Damn.
Moving on over, we got Star Trek number 8, written by Colin Kelly and Jack Lanzig. Art by Mike Feehan, and colors by Lee Lowridge. This is the Cardassian trial of Benjamin Sisko. And I did pull the counts of which he's being tried. So he has been tried for the first battle of Deep Space Nine, all Cardassian casualties of 125. The Dominion War, defeat of Cardassian, approximately 2,000 dead. As Captain of the Defiant, he is charged with the Battle of Telosia II, the Dominion War of Cardassian casualties of 1,534,000. The Battle of Al-Klud during the Dominion War, approximately 1,000 Cardassian casualties. The Battle of Kortos V during the Dominion War, 5 casualties. The Battle of Halcyon during the Dominion War of Cardassian casualties, 537. Operation Return during the Dominion War, which was a victory, costing Cardassian 13,262 casualties. The offensive commander of the first Allied fleet, the first Battle of Chintaka during the Dominion War, Kardashian casualties of 8,600. The second battle of Chintaka during the remaining war, costing the Kardashian casualties of 77,000. And the invasion of Cardassia as a whole, costing the Kardashians 834 million casualties. These are all the war crimes of Benjamin Sisko.
But we're missing the most important part of this issue. You're missing the most important character, which I was pleasantly surprised when I saw Garrett.
Garrick as your lawyer was the best thing ever. I mean, there's a whole subplot for the fact that like Shanks and Paris attach solar sails to the Theseus and an actual steering wheel, which gets the biggest grin out of Tom Paris. That's nothing. That's over there. The fact that Garrick is your witness and calls exactly one witness who technically does basically absolve Sisko of everything, but since it's a Cardassian court, they're like, nah, he's guilty.
But I love the fact that they really brought back Zero. I was like, really? I said, now that tells me that somebody pays attention because for those that don't know, Zero was the Jem'Hadar that Sisko liberated because him and his entire group was detoxing, I guess to say a better word off the white.
From this berry, yeah.
Yeah, they were all detoxing off of it. So the whole idea of just seeing him now, where it's like, I respect this man more than most of the Jem'Hadar that he has faced. And it's like, immediately goes to guilty. It's like, Garrett, you only get one witness. Wait, I'm sorry. Garrett goes, he goes, I have multiple witnesses. You can get one. Damn. Thank you. It's like
the prosecution got 15. It's like, and we are being generous.
But it was interesting. The whole thing about the sales, though, you just to see Scotty coming out of nowhere, like, you do know we can't run our engines in there, but we can go ahead and go straight pirate and go in there. It's up to y'all. But no, I love this issue. But the fact to see Garrick again, and the way he was written is exactly how he sounded on DS9.
Oh yeah, no, like I could hear the voice just the moment he starts having that little spat with Data.
Yeah,
with a friendly joust. The better term would be a friendly joust with Data, and Sisko's like, no, I trust Garrick.
He's like, do you really trust this? He's like, do you really trust this simple? I said, oh, I'm just a simple tailor. I was like, it's spycraft. Spycraft is not for me. I am just a tailor. I was like, now I want to watch DS9. I want to watch DS9 with him in it now.
I love this book, and I guarantee you the only reason we brought in Shanks was because solar sails on a Enterprise class ship is exactly a lower decks thing.
But you got to admit, it's pretty genius.
Oh yeah. And like I said, Tom Paris just had like the biggest grin on his face.
He was sitting there laughing. He said,
sailing a pirate ship, basically.
That part was, hi, Captain. It's just, you can just see the sheer joy on his face. Like, I am never going to get to do this again.
I like that Beverly was just chill with all of it. He's like, you know what? I've been through enough on the Enterprise. Just roll with it. I'm rolling with it.
This is all the thing. I'm about to say all the things she's seen on the Enterprise. I think that is light compared to that. But
I slept with the ghost, and my first son is an interdimensional being of pure omnipotence, time traveler. Solar sails is the least of my problems.
Right, but no, it was a good issue. I liked it.
Which, by the way, did you ever get around to finishing?
Yes, I cried. Oh, I cried.
I had problems with the finale.
I finished Picard, and we're gonna have to set aside a whole other podcast for that because that's gonna have to be. I'm gonna have to see if Hellspawn cosplay is available. I know he's in the middle of con season right now, but I'm gonna have to reach out to him, and we're gonna do a whole podcast on that one because all I can sit there and say is I cried and I loved it, but
I only had one issue, and that's because I'm a DS9 fan, not a TNG fan.
Mm-hmm.
I love TNG, but I am a bigger DS9 fan than I am a TNG fan.
Fair enough. But man, that's just all the damn feels from that final season. But yeah, we're gonna set aside another podcast to discuss that one. But go ahead, Joe.
Next up, we got No One issue 3. This is written by Kyle Higgins and Brian Busello. Art by Geraldo Borges. Colors by Mark Englert. So, how do we tackle this one politely? Because this is what happens when a gamer goes too far and nearly does commit stalking and murder in an attempt to clear his own name. And this is accompanied by the podcast, which does take place directly after this issue.
Yep.
So long and short of it is a man named Kenneth Chabolsky is accused of murder because he claims self-defense because a rival gamer threatened to SWAT him, and he felt because he is a gun enthusiast that his mother, sister, and grandmother would have been killed in the swatting effect because of how liberally they display their guns in their house.
Right.
So he tracks down the dude, causes an intentional car accident, and shoots the dude, killing him, but gets off on a self-defense case. And starts contacting the Philadelphia paper, which is centered around everything, to try and clear his name and get his story out there. Which results into stalking and attempted assault and attempted murder, which no one has to intervene in. Meaning Julia, one of our key characters, finally gets to meet no one.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the assistant police chief is also doing some stuff, despite his retirement, dealing with one of the primary investigators, I believe, of his son's incarceration.
Yeah.
Now, the podcast itself deals with the direct fallout of Julia recanting what happens and giving her side of everything going on, along with her news editor, Patton Oswalt. So, of course, I love this. This is unfortunately something that can happen and is something that has happened multiple times to people, unfortunately, where streamers have been swatted on stream. And that is not something to be taken lightly. That is like, you are putting people in very serious danger doing that.
Right.
So regardless if you're a gun enthusiast or not, that is just unnecessary for a gamer rage. Like, gamer rage needs to go so far. You can call each other everything under the sun, but don't endanger other people's families just because of a video game.
And it's never fun to actually do swatting because that is a very scary ass situation to have guys rolling up guns heavy. And like I said, like as Joe said, those situations rarely turn out well. They usually turn out very tragically for no reason, just because your ass couldn't handle a Call of Duty monitor.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, this issue is fantastic. I love the art. The podcast is fantastic. This is just one of those. Don't swap people is just the message of this issue.
Pretty much.
Any other thoughts on it?
No, and at first, when I first read it, it felt like a lot of filler. But when I went back and read it again, I'm like, okay, they're really trying to tie it up with the fact that no one has got the place wired. That was interesting. The fact that he's literally watching everything going on inside the police department, only to come out and save Julia. It started off slow, but at the end it did pick up, so it was a good issue.
I'm also thinking that the Chabolsky defense may come forward later on down the line, is why they're establishing this now.
Yeah.
Because they say in the podcast that this is actually led in universe to legislation about the Chabolsky defense, leading to possible legislation.
Yeah.
Which could actually be affected moving forward in the book. So this may be the other reason why that was brought forward. So, like, it does seem, you're right, it does seem like filler already in the third issue, but I think in a bigger picture, this is going to be more important moving forward.
Yeah, I can see that.
X-Men, moving over to Marvel, X-Men 22. This is written by Jerry Dugan with art by Joshua Cassera. Martin Gracia doing the colors. So the villains are on parade in this issue. We are starting towards the fall of X. We get to see, honest to God, I thought it was they stole the Fantastic Four's Fantastic car. Because, like, I can't think of any other time I've ever seen Nimrod just pitch back and lean with his hands behind his head.
Fair.
As MODOK goes and like makes people jump out of windows while Orochis is getting thing. But the big highlight on this one is Orochis starting to make its move by setting up health camps for mutants, which are pretty much just very private, very hidden death camps.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to see the first of the Sentinel Zeros, which are Sentinels using Wolverine skeletons from the numerous time Wolverine has been killed on missions that they've retrieved their skeletons.
Well, they do bring up an interesting point, though. And it's like, how many times has Wolverine died and we've never recovered a body? It's like, can someone please tell Wolverine to stop littering? It's like, but you guys have seen him die multiple times and nobody goes back and checks. I kind of think it's a loss on you guys' part. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. On top of that, they must have like a stockpile of adamantium, or he's born with the adamantium skeleton now or something. I'm assuming that's with an egg's power and whatnot, just to constantly be reborn with the adamantium in him. But like we've seen, if you guys read the Jonathan Hickman X-Men Unlimited webcomic run, you see how many times Wolverine's died trying to fight Orochis and died as a result, which is where they're getting all of his skeletons from. The scary thing is that the monkey engineers are getting ready to basically Terminator 2 his skeletons onto Sentinels.
Yeah.
So we are slowly moving into the Fall of X stuff. So this is just a villains on parade issue. I dug it.
It wasn't bad.
I kind of wish there was more X-Men, but less villains. But even the Horticulture, which, if you guys don't know, it's basically the evil Golden Girls of the X-Men, make a quick appearance. Honest to God, I thought they were dead and literally from old age. Because the last time we saw them was Empire.
That's fair.
And then reading it out, we have the new version of the Avengers, which I'm excited because this means Jason Aaron's god-awful run of the Avengers is over, and we get to read Jed MacKay, who, if you guys don't know, Jed MacKay remembers everything that's ever happened in the Marvel Universe.
We can read
So
again.
this is written by Jed MacKay with art by C.F. Vila and colors by Federico Blee. The long and short of this is the new run of the Avengers, and Carol is the new chairman of the Avengers. And I will say this, the first thing that makes me very happy about this book is Jed MacKay really leans into trying to fix Carol Danvers as a character, because Carol has pretty much been character assassinated since Civil War II, which was a terrible event, and it's never really fully recovered. And the first thing they make her do is make Tony Stark her second in command, because she has never really made it up to Tony for starting Secret War 2, or not Civil War 2.
Well, she did say on the team up, she's like, well, we've always been on opposite sides. Why don't we try working together for once?
Instead of making a Civil War happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we get Tony, and then we just see everybody going around like, I like the cap thing. I was waiting for them to point at each other. And I like that she's like, no, I need like Sam Wilson, the social worker, not Captain America, the living legend, on my team. And then she's like, no offense, none taken.
That was messed up, but still, dang.
Why was that messed up? Like, she makes a point like, I need Sam because Sam is the everyman. Sam is the man that we can put in front of a camera and can inspire hope.
But not an old fossil, though.
Well, here's the thing. If you think about it, everyone saw Captain America be judged during Judgment Day, and he failed.
I kind of call BS on that, but you're right.
Well, we know why he failed, though.
Yeah.
Because his ideal was to make America uphold to his ideals, and America did not.
Yeah, but it's still not the best explanation, but I accept it.
Black Panther, who I did not know, he's no longer King of Wakanda, and technically not Black Panther right now.
Right, because
I don't know what's going on in the Black Panther book.
Let's just say he did something he wasn't supposed to.
Oh God! Wait, who's Black Panther now? Then
Shuri.
Again?
Yep.
Oh, I mean, that makes sense. Cohesion with the MCU.
Mhm.
She finds T'Challa's like, well, how did you find me? It's like, you wanted to be found. We couldn't find you if you didn't want to be found. You wanted me to find you.
Pretty much.
It's like, I mean, you got nothing going on right now. Technically, you're technically not even Black Panther. And he's like, damn it.
He's like, all you can say was damn. I was like, well, you got a lot of solid points there.
With Thor, she gets the fact that just like Thor's like, he's just really interested in our lives because we live so little, but we burn very brightly. And he like tells us like, so that's the reason you come in. And he's like, yeah, pretty much.
I just like
With
the fact
Wanda, I love this. Wanda's like, oh, I'm in for the get go. Yeah, let's do this. Although Wanda's explanation is like, the Avengers have offered me stability longer than any other family I've ever found, so of course I'm in.
that was still damn. Like, that was still a damn moment. It's like you had to say that, but I guess I see your point, Wanda. But damn.
No, technically, Wanda has been an Avenger longer than any other team she's ever been with.
That is true, but still, damn.
And then Vision, I forget what his big shtick was, but like Vision's like, Carol gets everybody. Carol gets everybody she needs. They fight. I want to say a Kree thing or something. It's somebody trying to get a black hole generator because he knows the convergence is coming, which is the.
Oh, they were fighting. Shoot. No, I can't think of his name.
Terramax?
There you go.
Was it Terramax?
I believe so. I'm kind of brain dead at the moment.
But anyways, they're trying to stop him because he's trying to take a black hole converter from Project Pegasus because I don't know. Why does Window even bother guarding Project Pegasus anymore?
Reasons.
Wait, is Window even alive again?
I think he is.
Okay. But no, he's trying to get it because he says he needs to power himself up because the convergence is happening. For those unaware, convergence is the invasion of the Ultimate Universe that Jonathan Hickman will be writing.
Yeah, that's Terminus. I thought so.
Yep.
It's Terminus. Okay.
So they're just trying to stop him, and it's just a big everybody show off their powers fight, and Wanda makes it to where that Carol can detonate the black hole generator without killing the majority of the eastern and western seaboard.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, good book, great arc. The biggest impression to me is that Jed McKay knows what he's doing with everybody. He makes the book feel like a cohesive team. He makes everybody, despite being a team, being unique. He has good characterization for everybody, and he is doing what he can to make Carol what she used to be prior to the Civil War stuff, which I think is probably the most important thing because we need to make Carol as bright and as fun as possible with Marvel's coming on the horizon.
Yeah.
And I think he succeeds in that. And I think the artwork in this is outstanding.
And it's a great reintroduction of Carol actually assembling her own Avengers. So like I said, it's a great issue. It's going to be interesting what they're going to do going forward. But yeah, I'm interested.
The other thing we'll probably be noting is that potentially this is an MCU style variant of the Avengers, give or take maybe 3 heroes.
Yeah.
Because I can see Carol, Sam, Shuri, and Vision being on the Avengers. Or potentially Wanda down the road if they want to re-explore Wanda. I know Elizabeth Banks says she wants to take a brief break from Wanda, but she also says Wanda ain't dead.
Fair point.
I mean, I don't believe Wanda's dead for a second, so. Nah. No, that was pretty much it. That is the book for week. I really recommend this book. It's just a whole lot of fun, and it makes me happy that I can say The Avengers is a fun book again.
Cool. Well, thank you, Joe, for that. Really appreciate you with the comic book pool, sir. But we also, before we do wrap this up, we do want to give a shout out to our 2 people that actually show us love. We want to show love back to them. That is Rick's Comic City. If you are in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely check them out. They actually have a new endeavor. They do have stores located in Nashville and Clarksville, but they also have a new endeavor called Locker Nerd. If you are in the Fort Campbell area, near Clarksville, Tennessee, you can definitely check them out there. That is one of the new spots under the Rick's Comic Center flag, Rick's Comic City flag. Voted Nashville's #1 spot for comic books. So if you are in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely check out Rick's Comic Book Store and go from there. If you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, please support your local libraries, support your local comic book stores. Hopefully, you guys were able to enjoy Free Comic Book Day about a week or so ago and actually got some free comics and able to actually really get to introduce your community and things from there. But like I said, guys, please, please, please support your local libraries, support your comic book stores. If you are in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely check out Rick's Comic City. Also, Locker Nerd in Fort Campbell, Clarksville, Tennessee. And like I said, these places are the only places aside from Amazon to where you can literally go up to somewhere and actually enjoy a place where you can get comics, where you can get anime, manga, multimedia products, collector's items. I'm telling you, a lot of these places actually have rare gems that you can find, and you'll be surprised what you find in them. Trust me, I am speaking from experience.
So, small little note. I actually had to edit my list because I'm trying to save some money. So I'm trying to be a little bit more independent of the house if I can finally swing the budget.
Yeah.
So I had to downsize my pull list. I did not realize my pull list was 2 full pages.
Nice.
I got it down to 1 page.
So what made the cut?
This pretty much the standard stuff. I took off a lot of excess indie and DC and Marvel I wasn't reading.
Okay. I'm on a comic book hunt. There's a few of them that I'm kind of tracking right now that are very rare. Well, not really rare, but worth issues of Batman, Spider-Man, Green Arrow, Superman, Blade. I haven't seen the list. It's like 20 comics I'm following on 10 different sites right now, but I'll see the list later. But as we wrap this up, Joe, you want to let the people know what you're up to? What you be doing?
Actually, we also got to let you know, guys, that we have a full-on podcast version of Get Big Podcast now. We are on. You can find us at Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher, wherever your podcast will let you go. Usually, I will upload it either later tonight or sometime tomorrow. But we are dumping them out there. Last week, we had my episode with Podcast Droid GTBT. I just named that episode Kabillion because I could not think of a fun title because there was just a lot of stuff going on. Unfortunately, I forgot to mute my mic during the trailer, so we had some bad audio on that. That's my fault. I apologize, but I think me and BT had some fun.
I was gonna say Kabillion. I was like, Kabillion was the name. I was like, I dig it. I know it was GBT or Kabillion. I was like, Kabillion does sound like a good name for a droid. But no, it was really a funny episode, sir. That was done on that one. Also, to add to that, guys, we are also going to be on Opulence Radio as well. So you can definitely listen to Opulence Radio anywhere that you listen to internet radio. So again, we're getting out there. We are getting out there. Leading on to bigger and better things, hopefully. Like I said, working on a lot more graphics. Definitely going to be getting some intros and outros done. So yeah, me and Joe we moving on up. Hopefully it's the west side. But anyway, Joe,
I'm more in a diagonally east direction, but I'll get there eventually. My flight pattern is kind of like Woodstock from Peanuts. It's everywhere.
Good God, what have you got going on this week?
I mean, for this weekend, aside from probably the Street Fighter beta, more than anything. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming that or not. I know probably we'll try to stream more Ghostbuster content.
Okay.
Other than that, recovering because I had a nasty sinus infection earlier in the week and still kind of snorty.
Sorry, man.
Today is the first day I've been able to breathe with both nostrils, as I said earlier in the show. Also, I'm really tired because 9-hour work day. So, I'm complaining for about 45-hour work week. Ooh.
Yeah.
But 9 hours consecutively on top of training people, which has been very fun, very rewarding.
But can take its toll on you.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, most definitely. I got to do it for the rest of the month of May. I just got a new crown put in, so I am poor. I just keep on going. And then we got cons coming up. We got ICC next week, or ICCCC next week, which I'll be at Saturday and Sunday, potentially Friday if my boss will let me off half a day.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens there. Other than that, I've just been jamming out on some games, working, almost finished with Mega Man Battle Network 2. I'm on the final boss level and trying out an RPG I got on sale called Edge of Eternity.
I
Which
heard that.
the writing and the voice acting has been really fun. The battle engine is an ATB battle engine.
Okay.
But like all your spells and whatnot are tied to gems that you can re-socket in thing. And once you socket, it has multiple paths, but you can't do the whole path. So once you choose a path, you're locked into that socket path until you unsocket everything to a certain degree.
Sounds like Final Fantasy 11 with an ATB gauge.
Probably.
Okay.
I just
like
now
that.
got the third party member, like maybe 5 hours in.
Okay, that's what it sounds like. Sounds like that's the same fighting system as Final Fantasy 11.
The story is very cut and dry. I think the only thing that's really keeping me in there is the world is really nice to look at, and the voice acting in the script is just really well done. It's technological gods give medieval world technology, and then medieval world immediately abuses technology. So techno gods try to exterminate their own the medieval world, and shenanigans ensue.
Nice. Well, with that being said, guys, you can definitely catch Joe on his Twitch channel at Joe Will Tell You Last Name, of course. You can also catch him at Total Justice Gaming on YouTube, where he usually does his stream, things of that nature, but definitely check him out there. As for myself, guys, of course, you can find me BlackFox447 on all socials. I usually do reviews and everything that I write, that I read, that I watch, gym stuff, because I unfortunately have to switch gyms because of life. I can't go back to my favorite gym just because of moving and things of that nature and a new baby. So I will be showing the new gym I'll be going to once it opens up. That's bound to be interesting. At the same time, guys, like I said, the link at the bottom to where you can find all of our podcasts. I made that just a wee bit bigger for you guys to see. If you copy and paste that link into your browser, take you to my link tree. That's the YouTube and Facebook groups for all the podcasts, How the Crap Got Here, Get Bit, of course. Of course, the Off Limits podcast. Like Joe said, you can find audio of our podcasts on Stitcher, Stitcher, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. You can also find us on Opulence Radio, and very soon, once we do get the okay, we will actually be showing ourselves on TV on Always Record once we get the logistics figured out from there. And like I said, you'll be able to follow me and Joe and everything that we discuss. Keep the conversation going. Let us know what you think of everything that we talked about tonight. And of course, we hopefully will be back here, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel. And like I said, guys, on the way out, again, we need to be more about supporting each other, sharing each other, celebrating each other's victories and getting the bag. And like I said, when you have a fandom is more like a group of people coming together to love something. We do not allow toxicity. We do not allow shaming. We do not allow bullying. But if you come with love and peace, then that's all we ask. The only rule that we always have out of all this is, simply put, don't be a dick. Aside from that, Joe, anything else you got to say, sir, before we call tonight?
I got to go fight people and try not to fall into Capcom's foot fetish thing. God, Capcom, what's wrong with you guys? Like, why are you going for this audience?
Foot fetish people, the real serial killers. Anyway, he's been Joe. I've been Will. This has been Get Bit Podcast for tonight, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we will all get through this. Peace.